Coverage of Kernels baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
The final portion of our South Slope Communications Triple Play show on this Wednesday evening from Clinton. We're going after... in 1997 by John Charles and Paul Schneider, and like we had mentioned earlier, the ground was set back in the early 90s with Paul Schneider as a scouting director, and I just feel fortunate to be a part of it. And I think it all starts at the top. John empowers us as scouts to do our job. He believes in us implicitly, and we go out and do the best that we can to work hard and to try to uncover players that can help this club. Well, that's the whole thing, Sherrard, is that the Braves hire good people. They're very, very adamant about that, and they're very thorough in it, and it's proven success. Your job is to find good ball players, and an example is this evening's ball game starts at 6 o'clock. You were here at 3:15 when the gates open. Why do you come so early? You know what, I might not be the best evaluator, but there's one thing that you can't gauge is work ethic, and I tried my best to be on top of things, even when I was an area scout in this area for 2 years. As a scout, you're told to get to the ballpark early to find out information, is to be there. You never know what you might stumble into. Well, and that includes watching things before the game, whether it be how a guy goes about his business warming up or what he does in relation to his pregame routine or how he gets ready. What sorts of things can you garner before the game's first pitch is even thrown, Sherrard? Well, you can always train a scout how to grade specific tools out. I know there's been a big talk about Moneyball and statistical analysis and stuff like that, but I'm from the old school. Bill Clark, an old scout, Jerry Lafferty, and Paul Schneider, and you can gain a lot by just looking at the nuances of a kid prior to the game, when he gets off the bus, how he handles his teammates, how he talks to his mom and dad, how he goes about his batting practice or infielding practice. Different things like that help you put a player together, and sometimes it can put you either on the fence or over the fence or off the fence, depending on what you see in that particular athlete's makeup and how he goes about his business. What you see, you're in the business of observing, evaluating, and recommending, and so that's not an easy thing to do. Baseball is the hardest sport to project, whether it be the draft that's coming up or whether you can look at a guy at this level and see if he might help the Atlanta Braves in 3 or 5 years. Well, you stick to the profile and you look for delineating factors that either makes the guy a guy or not. For example, for the Braves, we look at a corner outfield position. We're looking for number one, power hitting ability. If we're looking at the shortstop position, we're looking for number one, fielding ability, and then hitting ability. We try to stick to that profile so that you can put together a team that's going to be a championship caliber club. Now, for example, if you have a guy that's a second baseman that you think is going to be a power hitter, but a nominal fielder, you better make sure you really can go on that power and hitting ability, because if he doesn't, then you don't have a guy there. So we really try to stick to a profile, and that's how we go about coming up with our evaluation processes. When I recommend a player to John, he has to fit a particular profile before we go about doing that.
Fascinating insights into the world of scouting from Atlanta Brave scout Sherrod Klingscales, our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Sherrod, I want to back up and have you comment on something you said just moments ago. Last night I got to meet Nick Aidenhart's mom, Linda. She said, John, Nick text messaged me from the clubhouse at 6:45, letting me know the game would start at 7:30. There's a little thing, but it shows that Nick has respect and honors his parents. These things are important.
Yeah, the apple never falls too far from the tree. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some kids that are necessarily bad apples that I played with, but are heck of ball players. But, you know, when you're trying to put together and invest in an athlete, you look for little things like that. And obviously, Nick's dad came up there and introduced himself to me. J.J. Piccolo, our assistant farm director, was the area scout when he was coming out of high school and spoke very highly of J.J. And again, that goes back to the point, it's your first contact, and the Braves really try to set ourselves apart by just being genuine and being and building the trust factor with the parents. So in the event that we're fortunate enough to get that particular player, at least the rapport has been built from the very onset. And so that means a lot that Nick that is on top of his game that well.
The text message is mom.
No question.
It's funny or ironic you mentioned that, Sherrod. Bobby Magallanes said that his relationship, he was a scout for 2 years with the Angels before he became in player development, and he said the key to scouting is a relationship, and he looked at his relationship with rising star with the Angels, Brandon Wood. He established it very early. Bobby said he even asked the security guard at Brandon Wood's high school what kind of kid Brandon was.
Well, a lot of times scouts get bad raps. I went through the whole scouting process because sometimes scouts don't do enough to get to know the kid. And that is so important, either big leaguer or not big leaguer. I can honestly say in my 11 years of scouting, I stay in contact or try my best to talk to guys that were prospects or were prospects. And that helps build good rapport moving forward. And unfortunately, in all industries, you have good and you have bad. But I think it's important as a scout that you're always on the up and up with all your players and building relationships, genuine relationships early on, so that if they are a big leaguer, they'll sign an autograph for you. And if they're not, heck, you never know. They might help you get a job if you get fired. But that's important.
That's called integrity.
There's no question. If you don't have integrity in this game, you can forget about it.
We're going to take a break from Clinton, where the Kernels are trying to up their 8-game road trip record to Davenport and here at Alliant Energy Field to 5-2 with the win here this evening. And we'll wrap things up with Atlanta Braves scout, former Midwest League pitcher, Purdue baseball player, pitcher, Sherrod Klingscales. We'll be back with Sherrod in just a moment here on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on the Kernel Radio Network.
Our members are owners, we make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Kearney Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
The final portion of our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on this Wednesday evening from Clinton. We're going to shift gears with Sherrod Klingscales. First of all, let's tell you that Sherrod has agreed to be with us one more time. We'll have our trifecta with him tomorrow evening here from Alliant Energy Field. But Sherrod, we promised our listeners we'd let you talk a little bit about the great accomplishments you had not only on the baseball diamond but on the hard court at Purdue. You played for Coach Katie.
Yes, I did. I was fortunate enough to be a preferred walk-on after I graduated from Rough Prep School, and had a chance to play in 3 Big Ten games. And Coach Katie's an awesome individual. He's a person, as we talked about, with integrity. He was a man of his word, and when I got to Purdue University, he said, let's get on this court and start playing. I had a very good time. We finished number 2 in the Big Ten to Michigan State that year. Tony Jones, Steven Scheffler, Jimmy Albert were some of the players that were standouts on that team that year. And I was one of the guys with now head coach Matt Painter at the end of the bench cheering the guys on. But I learned a lot from Coach Katie, and he's always been supportive. And I would have came back to play my sophomore year, but I think I found out there was not much room in the Big Ten for a 6'1" guard who couldn't shoot. And so I knew that my future is going to be on the diamond.
Well, Sherrod, that's a great story. They say that Coach Katie brought a football mentality to the basketball court, and what do people mean by that?
Well, I think that he was just no nonsense, and that the boilerplate of basketball was that you're going to get inside, you're going to bruise, you're going to battle. We were going to win the offensive boards, or we're going to have big-time transition baskets, and that's what he did. And the big thing I remember most about Coach is that when he got on you for that one time, he got it all, and then that was the end of it. The next day was a new day, and I think as players, you respect that. A lot of times coaches tell you what you want to hear, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Tell me what I need to hear, good or bad, and then move on for it, and I really respected that. I think that's why Coach had such success at Purdue University.
He had a long, long reign of success. Sherrod, do you remember coming to Iowa City to suit up against the Hawkeyes?
I remember coming to Iowa City, and I remember the crowd was awesome, and I remember Matt Painter and there was a player on that team by the name of Dave, there's a shooter. I can't think of his name.
That's all right. I don't go that far back with the Hawkeyes either.
Kingsbury.
Chris Kingsbury, yes.
And there was never a shot that he didn't like.
That's what Bobby Knight said about him.
And I remember Matt and I were saying to ourselves, boy, if he's on shooting this deep, he might knock over the bench because he's shooting from so far out. But no, it was a good experience, and I always cherish my opportunity to play in the Big Ten. It's always been a dream in basketball.
Well, that's great, Sherrod. Tomorrow we're going to talk to you about the phenomenal success the Braves had last year with just an unparalleled amount of homegrown talent and rookies. We'll pick up right where we left off this afternoon. I want you to know in my 11 years with the Kernels, Sherrod, I've never requested that a guy talk baseball with us 3 times in a row, but we got such good positive feedback about your willingness to talk baseball and Big Ten and life in general with us that we appreciate your willingness to be with us one more time again tomorrow evening here from Clinton.
Well, John, I certainly appreciate it. It makes me feel pretty good.
Well, it makes us feel great that a guy like you is in this game. Sherrod Klingscales, thanks again.
Thank you.
Up next, starting lineups, Game 3. Kernels trying to win their 4th in a row on this road trip, have won 3 straight one-run decisions. They've all been thrillers. I'll have those starting lineups when we return to Alliant Energy Field in just one moment. This has been the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners. We make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
The Kernels go for their 4th straight win on this 8-game road trip that saw us split 4 in Davenport and win the first 2 in dramatic style here in Clinton Memorial Day afternoon 2-1, and last night in 13 innings 5-4. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Rogers, and I welcome you to Alliant Energy Field here in Clinton, where the LumberKings and Kernels meet for the 7th time in this month of May. In this ballpark, the Kernels have won 3, and the LumberKings have won 3. Here are the starting lineups for this evening's contest. First for the LumberKings, they're skippered by former big leaguer Andy Fox. He's in his first year managing in the Texas organization, and the LumberKings are 18-33. They're in 8th place in the 8-team Western Division first half standings. Matt Smith will lead it off at shortstop for Clinton. Batting second, Jose Vallejo. He'll be the DH this evening. At first base is Freddie Thon, his average of .309, 9th highest in the league. John Mayberry in right field. He slugged his 7th home run of the year in the 13th inning last night to pull the LumberKings within a run of the Kernels. Mayberry will back cleanup. Hitting 5th in center field, Terry Blunt. John Whittleman will hit 6th and play third base for the LumberKings. In left field, Casey Herron. Herron will bat 7th. David Peterson, a Division III All-American out of the state of Oregon, will get his first action of the series. He'll play second base and hit 8th. And batting 9th, the catcher, Ben Crabtree. On the hill is Kyle Rogers, 20-year-old right-hander, and Kyle is from Galveston, Texas. He was taken in the 2004 draft in the 13th round by the Rangers, and his record 0-4, but don't let that record fool you. Rogers pitched very well his last start Friday here at home against Peoria, a no decision in a Clinton 5-4 win over the Chiefs. Kyle Rogers struck out a season-high 9 batters in only 5 innings, allowed no earned runs on 3 hits, and walked 3. Right-hander Kyle Rogers, 6'2", 195, 20 years old, and a 5.26 earned run average. The LumberKings are about to take the field. Allen Motor Company, as always, proud to sponsor the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, and we'll give you the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup in just one moment. But first, we're going to pause to honor America with the playing and singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
We honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Star-Spangled Banner from Alliant Energy Field, where the lights are on, it's overcast, and the temperature 80 degrees. Here's the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. Brad Kuhn leads the league in steals with 17. He'll lead it off in center. Heinle Stacia tripled and scored in the Kernel 3-run 13th last night. The switch hitter will bat second and play short. Jordan Renz is mired in a tailspin. He's 0 for his last 20. He'll be in right field and bat third, the Kernel leader in home runs and RBIs. Mark Trumbo bats cleanup at first base. In left field, batting 5th, getting his 4th straight start of the road trip, Tyler Johnson. Hitting 6th at second base, Larry Infante. Dallas Morris bats 7th in the Allen Motor Company order. He'll be at third base. Flint Whipke got the Kernel. Well, Flint had 2 triples last night, and he got the Kernel 3-run 13th inning started with a triple down the right field line. Flint hits 8th and will serve as the DH. And batting 9th, the catcher, Brett Martinez. Making his 11th start of the year is Kernel 22-year-old right-hander Stephen Merrick, 5-1 with a 2.34 ERA. Stephen was a 3-2 winner in Quad Cities in Davenport Friday night. He beat the swing 3-2, went 7 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, fanned 2, and walked none. And we're almost set for baseball here. Allen Motor Company sponsored our Kernel starting lineup, and Allen's is open late until 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. They offer a first-year maintenance free. That's right, your first year's maintenance is free if you buy a 2005 Buick Century, 2005 Buick LeSabre, or 2006 Buick Rendezvous. Your first year's maintenance is on Allen's if you buy any of those 3 models. Visit Allen Motor Company, I-380 and Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha. Our umpires are sponsored by Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Things are coming into focus at Anderson & Brown Eye Care's new facility on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. a full-service comprehensive eye care center with evening and Saturday hours. You can have your eyes examined at Anderson & Brown Eye Care and then pick out your glasses and or contact lenses right on site. Brad Kuhn takes the game's first pitch upstairs, and we're underway. Kuhn hitting .254. No homers, 16 RBIs, 5 triples, and a league-high 17 RBIs. Brad whistles the 1-0 pitch foul straight back. Anderson & Brown Eye Care, proud to sponsor our umpires. Easy in, easy out in Anderson & Brown Eye Care on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. Kuhn, 1 for 5 last night, had a big sacrifice fly in the 13th inning to put the Kernels ahead 5-2, and that was the deciding run as Chris Howell surrendered a 2-run homer to John Mayberry before getting the next 3 outs and helping the Kernels preserve a 5-4 win. Ball 2 outside, now a fastball for a strike to Kuhn. We're caught up now. Boy, you lose a minute or two in this game of baseball. Everything's so regimented and on the clock that you pay the price if you don't keep things right on time. On a 2-2 pitch, Kuhn swats it foul off to the left. Brad, a left-handed hitting Colonel leadoff man, has John Whittleman playing way off the line at third as Kyle Rogers misses upstairs, ball 3. The Kernels have won 3 in a row, and all of them have been by 1 run. Here's the payoff pitch to Kuhn. And it was a high fastball. Brad sliced it off the end of the bat foul off the facade of the grandstand roof behind home plate. A new batch of baseballs brought out by the Clinton Bat Boy from their third base dugout to the plate umpire. He and his partner are in gray trousers with navy blue knit short sleeve tops. Brad bounces it up the middle. It's backhanded by David Peterson, and he throws Kuhn out. That was quite a play. In his first appearance in this series, David Peterson had to go quickly to his right, and he backhanded it at a hard-hit grounder up the middle and got Kuhn by plenty. David Peterson, a Division III All-American out of Oregon, made a dandy play, backhanding a hard-hit ball up the middle by Kuhn. 1 away here in the Colonel first inning. Heinley Stacia, the batter, and a fastball from Kyle Rogers, Rogers, low and away, ball 1. Heinley, a switch hitter batting left-handed with a .281 average. And ball 2 is upstairs. Rogers works quickly. This is his 11th start of the year. In 49 2/3 innings, this fella's only given up 42 hits. And he's fanned 46. He pumps the fastball in for a strike. Rogers has walked 29, so his lack of control at times has hurt him. He's 0-4 with an ERA of over 5. Stacia slices the 2-1 pitch foul into the net behind the plate, and the count even to Heinley, 2-2. Heinley tripled in a run and scored in the Colonel 3-run 13th last night. 1 away here in the Colonel first inning. No score, and here's the 2-2. It was a curveball upstairs, and just like Brad Kuhn, Heinley Stacia has forced Kyle Rogers to run the string full. The payoff offering. Drilled into right center, on the run, Terry Blunt. He won't get it. It goes to the wall, deep into the right center field gap. Heinley Stacia's on his horse, and he's galloping into second with a 1-out double. Heinley Stacia with his team high 15th double of the year. Stacia smacked it hard into right center and beyond the reach of Terry Blunt, the center fielder. Heinley has a 1-out double here in the top of the first inning for the Kernels, and as I mentioned, it's his team high 15th double of the year. Boy, I never would have thought that a guy as lightly built as Heinley Stacia would lead the Kernels in doubles, but he does with 15. Now Jordan Wren's at the plate. Jordan trying to break out of a batting slump that saw him go 0 for 6 last night and nothing for his last 20. He rockets one off the glove of the third baseman, John Whittleman, and it dribbles into shallow left. It's a base hit. Heinley Stacia advances to third. Jordan Wren breaks out of his 0 for 20 rut as he hit a screaming liner to the left of John Whittleman. Whittleman dove to his left to prevent the ball from going into left field, but it was too hot to handle. John Whittleman got a glove on it. Renz is aboard, and it's first and third, one out for Mark Trumbo. Boy, Jordan Renz hit that ball hard. And Whittleman got a glove on it. It caromed off his mitt into shallow left, and Stacia, with good base running, went to third. Now a breaking pitch outside, ball one to Mark Trumbo. The Kernels have runners at the corners with one away here in the top of the first inning against right-hander 20-year-old Kyle Rogers. Stacia at third, Renz at first, Trumbo, a right-handed hitter. Looks at a fastball just downstairs for ball two. Mark Trumbo was 0 for 5 last night. He was hit by a pitch in the 8th inning. Kyle Rogers pitched here in Clinton last year. He started 27 games and went 6-10. A curve is a strike on the outside corner. Rogers pitched 130 in the third innings and posted a 6-10 mark with a 6.01 ERA. He's only 20 years old, from Galveston, Texas. Fastball is inside, and it's 3-1 to Mark Trumbo. Stacia with a one-out double. Renz singled hard off John Littleman's glove at third, advancing Heinley to third. And it's first and third, one out here in the Kernel first inning. Kyle Rogers comes set. The 3-1 to Mark Trumbo is a breaking pitch low, and that loads the bases. Mark Trumbo narrowly missed his first home run as a Kernel, doubling high off the 16-foot high plywood wall in center field. Tyler, a right-handed batter, swings late at a fastball and misses strike one. Kyle Rogers just reared back and blew that one by, the Kernel number 5 hitter. Stacia at third, Renz at second, and Mark Trumbo at first for Tyler Johnson. Strike two, a fastball on the inside edge. Tyler, a 12th round pick of the Angels in 2004, 20 years old, from Oklahoma. In the hole, no balls, 2 strikes, and he pops a fastball foul over the Kernel first base dugout. State Farm Insurance agent Gary Shubat is here this evening with his daughter, Jamie. We'll give you a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard from this afternoon as time permits here in the first inning. The bases loaded, 0-2 to Johnson. Swing and a miss. A breaking pitch down and away. Tyler Johnson down on strikes, and there's 2 gone here in the Kernel first inning. Let's see if Larry Infante can pick Tyler Johnson up. Tyler was thwarted in his bid to deliver at least a fly ball and score Stacia from third. The Kernels were fortunate to win last night's game 5-4 in the sense that we struck out 16 times. How do you strike out 16 times and win a ball game? Swing and a miss, strike one on Larry Infante. Larry belted a 2-run homer here, his first of the year, Memorial Day, Monday afternoon, and those 2 runs were enough in a Kernel 2-1 victory. Infante, a left-handed batter, taps it foul off the end of the bat, strike 2. So Kyle Rogers has been a different pitcher since loading the bases here in the first inning. He's come back to strike out Tyler Johnson, and he has Larry Infante in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call, the breaking pitch on the inside corner. Great work by Clinton starter Kyle Rogers. The Kernels loaded the bases with 1 out and couldn't put the ball in play as Kyle Rogers struck out a pair. No runs in the first for the Kernels. 2 hits, a walk. There were no Clinton errors. The Kernels leave the bases loaded. And after 1/2 inning in Clinton, Kernels nothing. LumberKings coming up. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network. We're going to keep it right here for just a moment. We do have 4 finals from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and we'll give those to you when we return. Stephen Merrick is headed out on the hill for the Kernels, who had a great chance to break out on top in the first half inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, but 2 strikeouts followed. After 1/2 inning, Kernels nothing. LumberKings coming up. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairly
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Yes.
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family's blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Stephen Merrick gets ahead in the bottom of the first as he brings in strike one called. The left-handed hitting leadoff batter, Matt Smith, the shortstop. And Stephen misses low and away, ball one. No score. We're in the bottom of the first here at Alliant Energy Field where the lights are on. The next delivery, low and away, ball two. Matt Smith walked and scored on a pass ball in the first inning last night, then went 0 for his next 5. Left-handed hitter with a .276 batting average, a homer, 12 RBIs, and he grounds one. A tough hop, Trumbo gloves, and underhands to Merrick just in the nick of time as the Kernels turn a fabulous defensive play to take a hit away from Matt Smith. Smith corked it on the ground hard, and it took a terrible hop, came up on Mark Trumbo. Mark adjusted wonderfully and backhanded it about letter high, and then led the pitcher Stephen Merrick beautifully with an underhand toss, and Matt Smith is retired. First base to pitcher covering 3-1. That was some play by the Colonel first baseman Mark Trumbo. Here's Jose Vallejo. Squaring to bunt, the switch hitter batting left looks at strike one called. Dallas Morris came rushing in from third base. Now he retreats to even with the bag about 10 feet off the line. Vallejo, 1 for 6 last night, swings and misses strike two. Jose reached on an error and scored in the 6th inning to tie the game at 2. Vallejo is 1 for 11 in this series. He's batting .232. No homers, 13 RBIs. And Merrick delivers high for ball one. We promised you a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard here in the first inning. And there were 4 afternoon games to report. State Farm insurance agents Brad Dunn, Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, and Al Shetler sponsor the State Farm Major League scoreboard. A curveball that was ruled a strike in the top of this first inning is ruled a ball here in the bottom of the first by the plate umpire. The very same pitch was called a strike on Larry Infante to end the Colonel first. Now Vallejo hits a one-hopper, backhanded snazzily by Heinley Stacia on a short hop, and Heinley retires Jose Vallejo with a fabulous backhanded play at shortstop. Vallejo hit his sinking liner, and Heinley couldn't get to it in flight, so he had to backhand it. A very tough backhanded stop by Heinley Stacia, and there are 2 gone here in the Clinton first inning. This game being played at breakneck pace as Freddie Thon fouls the first pitch away to the left, strike one. Thon, a left-handed batter, 9th in the league with a .309 average. Freddie last night singled ahead of John Mayberry's 2-run homer in the 13th. Thon was 2 for 6. A bouncer to second on 3 hops. Larry Infante backs up into shallow right, wings his throw to first to retire Freddie Thon, and Stephen Merrick retires the LumberKings in order in the bottom of the first inning. Now we get to the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and it was this afternoon in the American League at the ballpark in Arlington. The Mariners clobbered Texas 14-5, and in Oakland the Athletics shut out the Royals 7-0. In the National League at Citizens Bank Ballpark, the Nationals shaded the Phillies 3-2, and in 11 innings at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals 4, Houston 3. After one inning here in Clinton, no score. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one.
Do you, Susan, take Giuseppe Florentino?
You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared to Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Oh, come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for l'Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for. Just yourself.
Lower third of the Kernel order here in the top of the second inning. No score. Kyle Rogers, making his 11th start of the year, pitched very well here at home on Friday night against Peoria. And his breaking pitches at the knees, a strike call to Dallas Morris. Dallas was a big part of the Kernel win last night. He went 2 for 4, scored the first 2 Kernel runs of the game. And he plugs one to deep left. Going back is Casey Herron. It's out of here! And Dallas Morris gives the Kernels an early lead, his 4th home run of the year. Dallas Morris, congratulated at third by Kernel skipper Bobby Magianis. Dallas has hit it up onto the grass slope seating berm just to the left of the 335 mark, and it's 1-0 Kernels. That home run by Dallas Morris is his 4th of the year, and it gives the Kernels an early lead, and PRC's Community Care has now proudly stepped to the plate to donate another $25 to the Haycap Food Reservoir in their Home Runs for the Hungry campaign. Strike one to Flint Whipkey. Dallas Morris scored in the 3rd inning last night to tie the game at 1. Then he scored in the 5th to give the Kernels a 2-1 lead. And Flint Whipkey takes high for ball 1. Every Kernel home run this season means another $25 from PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir. And Dallas Morris's leadoff blast here in the 2nd, the 31st home run belted by the Kernels on the year. And that means PRC's Community Care has now donated $775 to the Haycap Food Reservoir in PRC's Home Runs for the Hungry campaign. The count is 2-2 now on Flint Whipkey, who had 2 triples last night for the Kernels. 1-0 here in the 2nd, and a fastball at the knees catches Flint Whipkey off guard. He's called out on strikes. 1 away here in the Kernel 2nd inning. Whipkey tripled in the game's go-ahead run in the 5th inning last night, and then he tripled leading off the 13th and scored. 1 away. Brett Martinez at the plate. Brett takes a letter-high fastball for a strike. Martinez, the number 9 hitter in the Kernel order, batting .213, tied the game at 1 last night in the 3rd inning with the sacrifice fly. Fastball low and away from Kyle Rogers. Brett Martinez reached on an error that helped the Kernels score the go-ahead run in the 13th last night, and Brett himself scored on a Heinle Statia triple in the Kernel 3-run 13th inning. Ball 2 is low to Brett Martinez. Slightly open stance, right-handed hitter, and a black lacquer bat. He lashes the 2-1 pitch foul straight back. It's 2-2 to Brett. Another final from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. At Petco Park, the Padres edged the Rockies 3-2 this afternoon. The 2-2 to Brett. Curve, and it's bounced up the middle. Backhanded by David Peterson, the second baseman, whose long throw to first gets Brett Martinez. David Peterson took a hit away from Martinez. Brett laced a 2-2 pitch hard on 2 hops past the mound. David Peterson, who has not played in this series, turns in his second fine defensive play at second base. Peterson took a hit away from Brad Kuhn in the first, and he does the same on Brett Martinez. Here's a bunt up the first baseline, bunted hard, and it's fielded by Freddie Thon, 15 feet in front of the bag. Freddie calmly steps in front of Brad Kuhn and tags Brad. Kuhn tried to drag a bunt. He did, but he bunted it in the air right down the first baseline too hard, and Brad Kuhn was tagged out in front of the bag unassisted by Freddie Thon. A leadoff homer by Dallas Morris here in the second inning. 1 run on 1 hit. There were no Clinton errors. The Kernels leave. The base is empty. Clinton comes to bat in the home half of the second. Kernels leading here at Alliant Energy Field 1-0. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
With spring comes a sound we're all familiar with, lawnmowers. The Solid Waste and Recycling Department encourages you to mulch your grass this year, though, instead of bag. It's a practice known as grass cycling. Why grass cycling? Well, it saves time because you don't have to rake or bag your grass clippings. But it also saves money because those clippings contain essential nutrients, reducing your need for expensive fertilizers. Best of all, grass cycling helps to save landfill space. Do your part. Grass cycle. This message from the Solid Waste and Recycling Department.
If your spring planting includes new landscaping, Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, and Landscaping is the place to go for an estimate. You can choose your landscaping plants and trees from Peck's vast array of acres of expertly cared for trees, shrubs, evergreens, and perennial plants. Visit Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, and Landscaping, where Peck's knowledgeable staff is ready to answer your plant and gardening and landscaping questions. Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, and Landscaping, celebrating 50 years of growing with Eastern Iowa. Peck's is located at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast, and they're open until 8 o'clock tonight and every weeknight. A programming reminder, tomorrow evening's series finale here in Clinton will be a 7 o'clock start, 6:40 South Slope Communications Triple Play Show time, and we'll be in the zone tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, the game will be heard in the zone, 1600 a.m., and it'll be a 7 o'clock start, and the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show will be at 6:40. John Mayberry had everyone's mouth dropping open in utter awe and sheer wonderment last night. A strike is in at the knees. Sometimes you're at a loss for words in this game, especially if you're my age and those Tri-State Travel Motor Coach miles begin to add up on you. Mayberry clubbed a 2-run homer off Chris Howell in the bottom of the 13th to cut the Kernel lead from 5-2 to 5-4. John takes a strike and now lofts a pitch foul out of play to the right. Mayberry in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. John Mayberry hitting .248, 6'6", 230 pounds, has 23 RBIs. Will Merritt come after John Mayberry? Yes, and a slider at the knees gets John Mayberry looking. John Mayberry strikes out, and there's 1 gone. He struck out on 3 pitches to start this Clinton second inning. Terry Blunt took the collar last night for the LumberKings. He was 0 for 5, but he walked leading off the 9th inning. And Blunt goes up swinging and fouls one into the backstop, strike 1. 330 down the left field line here at Alliant Energy Field. 325 down the right field line. 395 to dead center. A bouncer to shallow first. Mark Trumbo gloves and then underhands to Stephen Merrick, who almost took a nasty spill as he took that underhand toss and beat Terry Blunt to the base. It's a 3-1 putout. Trumbo to Merrick. Boy, Stephen really had to sprint hard off the mound to beat the left-handed batter Terry Blunt to first base. And that's the second time Trumbo and Merrick have linked up on the first base to pitcher covering putout. 5 in a row now retired by Stephen Merrick. 1-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the second inning. The batter, John Whittleman, left-handed hitter. And Merrick misses low and away with the fastball. Whittleman's only 19 years old. And the left-handed hitter was 2 for 4 last night with a walk. A backdoor breaking pitch misses outside, ball 2. Merrick takes off his all navy blue cap and rubs his head. Stephen got a buzz cut earlier this week that had his teammates razzing him a little bit on the bus. You know the old joke from grade school, did you get the license plate number? And then the kid says, what do you mean? Oh, of the truck that ran over your head with that mower on the back. Ball 3 outside to Whittleman. Now a strike at the knees to John. Yes, kids would tease each other unmercifully when a kid, especially in junior high, would come to school with a haircut. John Whittleman on a 3-1 delivery. Well, now the count is full. I thought it was 3-1. It must have been 2-1. It was 2-2. Now it's a full count. Base is empty. 2 away, and the Lumber King second. And ball 4 to John Whittleman. John Whittleman is the first Lumber King runner to reach this evening against Stephen Merrick. Merrick's season line is very, very outstanding. 61 2/3 innings pitched. Stephen has allowed only 51 hits in 61 2/3. The Colonel 22-year-old right-hander has struck out 48 in 61 2/3, walked only 13, and the league's hitting a meager 226 against Stephen Merrick, who's making his first start against Clinton this year. Casey Herron, a 248 batter, no homers, 13 RBIs. Kissed the first pitch foul over the left field, the railing that parallels the left field line. The scoreboard here is new. It's 2.5 stories high and is high above the 16-foot high plywood wall in left center. It's green. And that's one of the 2 main theme colors of the Lumber Kings, green and black. Fastball high, and it's 1-1 to K.C. Herron, Herren. A Dallas Morris leadoff home run in the top of this second inning has the Kernels ahead 1-0. The Lumber Kings have a runner at first with 2 away for K.C. Herron. Stephen Merrick comes set. Ooh, a breaking pitch just missed low, according to the plate umpire. We're back at home for a 4-game weekend series starting Friday night against the Burlington Bees, who lead the Kernels in the standings by 2.5 games. Kane County's atop the West with a 31-20 mark, followed by Peoria. They're 29-21. Beloit and Burlington are tied for third. Each of those ball clubs is 25-24. The Kernels are in 5th place, 24-28. K.C. Herron hits one high to right, way back. Wren's looking up. 2-run homer. K.C. Herron hits one onto the Lumber Lounge to put the Lumber Kings ahead here in the second inning, 2-1. The first of the year for K.C. Herron, and it brings this big crowd alive. I mean, the Lumber Lounge, where K.C. Herron hit it, probably has a couple of hundred people enjoying the action. They all scrambled for that home run ball over the 12-foot high plywood wall in right and onto the picnic area known as the Lumber Lounge. A 2-out walk and a 2-run homer, and Clinton leads it 2-1. A curve, a strike to David Peterson. Now a broken bat blooper into shallow center. It's a Texas League single. The business end of the bat winds up between the mound and third base. And a broken bat Texas League single by David Peterson keeps the Lumber King second inning perking right along. David Peterson, a .207 hitter in 18 games, was a Division III All-American at George Fox College out in Oregon. George Fox University, that is. Ben Crabtree is the batter. Right-handed hitter with a .153 average, no homers, 9 RBIs. A high fly ball into straightaway right. Jordan Renz dances back a few steps and puts it away to end the inning. Ben Crabtree flies to right. Stephen Merrick surrendered a 2-out walk and then a 2-run homer. Only the 6th home run of the year surrendered by the Colonel right-hander. Clinton comes away with 2 runs in the second on 2 hits, that darn 2-out walk. There were no Colonel errors, and the Lumber Kings leave 1 man aboard. We go to the top of the 3rd inning, and Clinton leads the Colonels 2-1. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Diet Pepsi is taking you to the movies. All kinds of movies, like horror films.
Hey, there's a guy with a hockey mask outside. Let's go see what he wants. Okay.
Sci-fi films.
Gentlemen, we're in luck. Those aliens speak American.
Kung Fu movies.
Your English voiceover. Look terrible. Taste my nunchucks.
Teen flicks.
I am so ugly. Well, you'd be hot if you ditched your glasses and your nerdy side ponytail. Oh, my gosh. I am hot.
Foreign films.
Le French fries, the French toast.
Baguette, le bougelet.
Le croissant.
Crime films.
Did you find anything?
Only this computer disk labeled totally incriminating evidence.
I'll keep looking.
Introducing the Diet Pepsi box office promotion. Find a code in specially marked Diet Pepsi packages. Collect and enter codes at dietpepsiboxoffice.com to redeem for a movie ticket, even to action movies.
Well, the bad guy's dead. I'll just turn my back. I can't believe you fell for that.
Light, crisp, refreshing Diet Pepsi.
Subject to official rules, void where prohibited. 63006. Multiple purchases required. See website for redemption details.
Imagine the convenience of accomplishing your next real estate transaction under one roof. Buying a home, selling a home, or securing the right mortgage loan are simple and worry-free at Todd Financial Services. Todd Financial Services knows that you've worked hard to be able to make the dream of home ownership a reality. Todd Financial Services understands that people do business with people they trust. You can count on Todd Financial Services to put you and your needs first so that your real estate transactions are pleasurable.
Top of the 3rd inning, and a pair of long balls accounting for the 3 runs in this game. A leadoff homer by Colonel Dallas Morris in the second was answered by a 2-out, 2-run blast, his first of the year, by Clinton's Casey Herron in the bottom of the second. Heinle Stacia, Jordan Renz, and Mark Trumbo to bat here in the 3rd inning. Stacia doubled with 1 out in the 1st inning, his team-high 15th double of the year. A fastball is in from Kyle Rogers. Halo happenings results from around the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim organization from last night. The parent club, here's a line shot over the head of the second baseman, David Peterson, into right field. John Mayberry gets it back in quickly, and Heinle Stacia adds to his .281 average as he cranked a hard shot over the head of the second baseman, Peterson, into right, and the Colonels have their 4th hit of the evening off Kyle Rogers, the 20-year-old right-hander. More importantly, they have the tying run at first with nobody out. In Los Angeles last night, the Angels toppled the Twins 6-3. Actually, it was in Anaheim. And the Angels will send former Colonel Irvin Santana to the hill tonight at home against the Twins. Santana's record is 4-2. A big Uncle Charlie is taken outside, ball 1 by Jordan Renz. Jordan broke out of an 0-for-20 tailspin with a line drive single off the glove of John Whittleman at third, his first time up. Renz batting .262. Stacia draws a throw, and he's back standing up. AAA Salt Lake won a slugfest over the Tacoma Rainiers last night, 15-14. Former Colonel closer and reliever Greg Jones got the win in relief. Ball 2 low and away, and a fine backhanded stop by catcher Ben Crabtree to prevent a wild pitch. Former Colonel All-Star second baseman and Midwest League batting titleist Howie Kendrick was 2 for 5 last night for Salt Lake with a 2-run homer, and Howie drove in 5 runs. Former Colonel Mike Elward was 3 for 5. Ground ball ball fair past third down the left field line. How far can Stacia go? He's headed to third. He's rounding third, and they're going to hold him up on a double. Grounded sharply right over the bag at third by Jordan Renz. And Jordan Renz is 2 for 2. Renz grounded it sharply to the right of John Whittleman. It hugged the line, went right over the base, down into the Lumber King left field bullpen. Hindley Stacia was held at third by skipper Bobby Magallanes, and Jordan Renz is 2 for 2. The Kernels have runners at second and third with nobody out. Here in the top of the third inning, trying to tie this game or go ahead. Mark Trumbo's at the plate. He walked in the first inning to load the bases, and then Kyle Rogers struck out Tyler Johnson and Larry Infante to prevent the Kernels from scoring in that first inning. 2-1 Lumber Kings. A curve, a strike called to Mark Trumbo. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on a fastball. Double-A Arkansas dropped both ends of a doubleheader with Frisco losing 5-3 and 14-3. Former Colonel outfielder David Gates socked his 4th home run of the year in the opener. Second and third, nobody out. Ooh, and a changeup, swing and a miss. Ooh, Mark Trumbo unable to put the ball in play. Boy, Kyle Rogers has gotten big strikeouts when he's needed them so far tonight. Now it's flat up to Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson needs to pick Mark Trumbo up. With runners at second and third and nobody out, Kyle Rogers struck out Mark Trumbo on 3 pitches. Can Tyler Johnson come through? Ball 1. Ooh, delayed ball by the plate umpire. Strike 1 called. We've got to wait, a good 5 to 7 seconds before we determine what the pitch is. Tyler Johnson chased a changeup in the dirt. Strike 2. And a run-saving stop by Ben Crabtree. It was such a nasty pitch in terms of not being in the strike zone. Ben Crabtree had to scoot out to his right and block that pitch that Tyler Johnson offered at. The 0-2 pitch to Tyler. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The strikeouts continue to mount as the Colonels swing at pitches that aren't in the strike zone. Second and third, 2 out. Here's Larry Infante. Larry struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. Boy, you've got to put that ball in play. Even if it's an out, make the defense earn it. Infante takes low one in, a fastball, ball 1. Kernels struck out 16 times last night and have struck out 5 times so far this evening. Second and third, 2 out. 2-1 here in the third inning. The 1-0 to Larry Infante. Swing and a miss on a chin-high fastball. Matt Brown in the Arkansas doubleheader, 2 for 3 in the nightcap. Michelle Samar took the loss. Ball 2 is high and in to Larry Infante. Moments ago, the Kernels had runners at second and third with nobody out. Kyle Rogers struck out the next 2 Kernel hitters on 6 pitches, 2 of which were strikes. Stacia dashes down the line and tried to induce Kyle Rogers to balk, but Kyle stepped off the rubber, and now the catcher, Ben Crabtree, comes trotting out to the hill. 2-1 Lumber Kings here in the top of the third inning. Former Colonel right-hander Stephen Shell will be pitching for AAA Salt Lake this evening in Utah. And former Colonel Rafael Rodriguez will pitch in Little Rock, Arkansas. Here's a high pop foul off to the left, and that evens the count to Larry Infante, 2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 2-1 Clinton. Swing and a miss and a pitch in dirt. The throw to first in time. Kernels had the bases loaded. Nobody out, or 1 out in the first, didn't score. Kernels had second and third. Nobody out in the third inning. The next 3 struck out. And those are the 2 turning points so far in this ball game. How about Kyle Rogers? Who would expect that with the bases loaded and 1 out, he would strike out Tyler Johnson and Larry Infante in the first inning? And who could dream with runners at second and third and nobody out in the third inning that Kyle Rogers would strike out the next 3 Kernels? But that's how good this fellow with the 0-4 record has been early tonight. He has had the Kernels off stride with his nasty pitches in the dirt. No runs for the Kernels in the third inning. 2 hits. There were no Clinton errors. Kyle Rogers struck out the side, and the Kernels leave a pair in a stranded 5. Stephen Merrick back to the hill, and after 2.5 innings, Clint leads it 2-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Don't you wonder sometimes how all those companies who claim to be the best can actually be the best? Doesn't just one of them have to be the best? When it comes to motor coach travel, Tri-State Travel is the best. We have the highest safety rating, the largest variety of coaches, a trained driving staff, and 66 years experience. Don't you want to travel with the best? That would be Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
Hi, this is John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. I'd like to share a few words with you about Kernel team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Terse. My father was a surgeon, and like most sons, I looked up to him as the greatest dad and the best doctor on earth. When I was diagnosed with a torn meniscus in my right knee recently, I wondered if my doctor here in Cedar Rapids would measure up to my dad's standards. My doctor was Dr. David Terse. Dr. Terse's thorough and expert explanation of my x-ray, his calm and reassuring description of the procedure he would be performing, and his kind and confident bedside manner impressed me beyond my expectations. Dr. Terse has those exceptional qualities we all hope to find in our doctor: an established reputation of excellence, the ability to communicate with us so that we understand and trust his words, and that gut feeling that he truly cares about us. Dr. Terse is a world-class surgeon and first-class person. I've experienced firsthand why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Kernels' parent ball club, has entrusted Dr. Terse to care for our players. Matt Smith, the leadoff batter, opens up the Clinton third, and on an 0-1 pitch, he strokes a worm burner that hugs the ground into the glove of Larry Infante, and Larry on to first, 1 away. Stephen Merrick has retired. Matt Smith on a grounder to second. 1 gone here in the third inning. 2-1 Clinton. Our baseball camps are just around the corner. A great tradition started by Kernel General Manager Jack Rader. The Kernel Youth Baseball Camps conducted by the Kernel coaching staff and Kernel players. Ball 1 just misses outside. A breaking pitch to Jose Vallejo. And a curve is a strike called, 1-1. Kids ages 7 to 10, your baseball camp. The 3 dates are June 8th, 9th, and 10th. From 9:30 in the morning till 12:30, a bouncer to second. Larry Infante one-hands it, and then on to first. Jose Vallejo is bounced out to second, and there are quickly 2 away here in the LumberKings third inning. Kids 11 to 14, the baseball camp, the Kernel Youth Camp, is from June 14th through 16th. And for more information, you can call Seth Dorn, 363-3887. That's 363-3887 to be a part of the annual Kernel Youth Baseball Camps. Swinging and fouling the first pitch off to the left is 309 batting Freddie Thon, who ended the Clinton first by grounding out to second. Outfield plays Freddie slightly to hit the other way. Merrick works fast and misses upstairs with the ball, a fastball. The $100 camp fee includes a T-shirt, lunch all 3 days at the ballpark, and 4 tickets to a Kernel game on the last day of the camp, including a recognition ceremony for all the campers on the field prior to those ball games. Ball 2 is on the way to the left-hand batting Freddie Thon. Now a high pop foul, drifting beyond the reach of third baseman Dallas Morris. Strike 2. Has Kyle Rogers ever been tough on the Kernels so far tonight? The Kernels have out-hit the LumberKings 5-2, but trail the game 2-1. The Kernels have stranded 5 men in 3 innings. Backdoor curve catches Freddie Thon looking, and strike 3 called. A 1-2-3 inning for Stephen Merrick, his second in 3 frames, and that's his second strikeout. Down in order go the LumberKings in the bottom of the third. A fast-moving game 3 here at Alliant Energy Field. The Kernels are trying to win for the 4th straight time on this 8-game road trip. Coming into the top of the 4th inning, Clinton on top tonight, 2-1. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Cedar
Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maple, and lilac. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique one for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
3 innings quickly completed here at Alliant Energy Field, where Dallas Morris gave the Kernels a 1-0 lead with a leadoff homer his first time up. That was in the second inning. It was Dallas' 4th of the year. Kyle Rogers, first pitch is stroked foul, out of play to the right, strike one. Dallas batting .229, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. Casey Herron in left, Terry Blunt in center, John Mayberry in right for Dallas Morris, and the LumberKings play him to hit the other way. Kyle Rogers brings a struck in on the outside corner. It's 0-2. The league is only hitting .235 against this 20-year right-hander from Galveston, Texas. Morris fights off a good pitch right in on his hands and fouls it off behind home plate. Rancho Cucamonga lost to Lancaster last night, 5-4. Former Colonel catcher Michael Collins hit a couple of doubles, but Rancho fell to the 500 mark, 26-26 in the loss. Dallas Morris still in the hole, 0-2, fouled another pitch off straight back. Dallas a slightly open stance, and a pitch low and away for ball one. The Kernels had 7 hits in a 4-3 win Sunday night in Davenport, 3 hits here on Memorial Day in a 2-1 win, 7 hits in a 13-inning win last night, 5-4. A big bender tucks just inside and low, and it's 2-2 to Morris. Kyle Rogers with a full windup and a fastball is high and outside for ball 3. Ben Crabtree behind the plate for the LumberKings. He's wearing black shin guards and a black chest protector, a traditional catcher's mask. Dallas Morris hits a sinking liner into center. It's caught by Terry Blunt. Oh, Dallas hit it right on the nose, thrashed it into straightaway center where Terry Blunt came on to grab it. 1 gone here in the 4th inning. Boy, you look at a at-bat like that, and sure, Dallas made an out, but just think if he was at the plate in the 3rd inning and would have just put the ball in play like that, that would have been a sacrifice fly to tie the game. But Kyle Rogers, with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out, struck out the next 3 Colonel batters. Here's a swing and a miss by Flint Whipke, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Flint and Brad Kuhn each have 5 triples for the Kernels. Strike 2 called, a fastball on the outside corner. 2-1 LumberKings here in the top of the 4th inning. Whipke fouls a fastball straight back on an 0-2 count. Kyle Rogers has been getting ahead of most of the Colonel hitters. Hard to believe this fella has a record of 0-4. He's only allowed 42 hits in 49 2/3 innings and struck out 46 batters. The 0-2 delivery is up and away for ball 1. Bobby Magallanes coaching at 3rd for the Colonels, wearing a long-sleeve red shirt underneath his Colonel gray road top. Curve, and Flint lines into center in front of Terry Blunt. That's the 6th Colonel hit of the ball game. Flint Whipke got a hanging breaking pitch and jumped all over it, hammered it into center for a one-out single. Now the Kernels may do some running. A hit and run may be in order here with the Kernel number 9 hitter Brett Martinez standing in. Brett grounded out up the middle to the second baseman David Peterson, who actually took a hit away from Martinez back in the second inning. All the seats here at Alliant Energy Field, the 3 rows of green box seats, the 10 rows of alumina blank bleachers are covered by a grandstand roof supported by 18 circular green painted girders. Strike one on the outside edge to Brett Martinez. Now Brett lays off a pitch outside, ball one. Your chance to earn a couple of passes to Bruce Moore and a Bruce Moore souvenir book coming up in the 5th inning, our Bruce Moore Bonanza question. All you need to do to participate and find the answer is log on to Bruce Moore's website, www.brucemore.org, BRUCEMORE.org. Then you'll email me your answer and your name and address right here in the press box in Clinton, and we'll have a winner hopefully tonight. There's a pitch in the dirt. It skips off the shin guard of Ben Crabtree, and it sends the tying run, Flint Whipke, scurrying down to second base. That wild pitch is the 11th charge to Kyle Rogers this season, and that's a high number of wild pitches. Martinez took ball 2, and he's ahead 2-1. Brett taps his spikes with his black lacquer bat. Martinez wears a pair of black batting gloves. Brett's a .213 hitter, trying to drive in the tying run. Here in the top of the 4th inning, ball 3 was just inside from Kyle Rogers to Brett Martinez. The Lumber King record here at home at Alliant Energy Field, 9 wins, 16 losses. They're 8-10 in one-run games. The Kernels are 7-8 in one-run games. Martinez lofts a high pop foul. There may be a play for Freddie Thon in front of the Kernel dugout, and it's just beyond his reach, and the catcher, Ben Crabtree, the Kernel equipment manager, was an obstacle that the catcher, Ben Crabtree, had to deal with. He's in uniform, and he was featured in a high-profile article this past Memorial Day in the Gazette. Jeff Johnson did an outstanding article about the Kernel equipment manager, Roadrunner Ron Klein. Martinez on a payoff pitch, ices it foul. In the air, off to the right. Brett spits into his black batting gloves. Boy, there's a lot of things you can do at a ballpark that you can't get away with in regular society. One of them is spitting. Another is leaving your hot dog wrappers on the ground. And another is yelling at the top of your lungs. Here's a high fly ball down the line in right, chased by John Mayberry into the Kernel bullpen, and John runs out of room. Boy, is Brett Martinez giving Kyle Rogers a battle here in the top of the 4th inning. John Mayberry is one of those guys that makes everything look easy. Some would say, well, he didn't hustle after that ball. Oh, he hustled. It just doesn't look that way because everything comes so easy to that Texas Ranger first-round draft pick. Another 3-2 offering to Martinez. A curve was low and outside. Brett took a check swing, and he draws a walk. Brett Martinez has walked, and that's the second walk drawn by Kernel hitters tonight against Kyle Rogers. Brad Kuhn has a chance with 2 on and 1 out to drive home the tying or go-ahead runs here in the 4th inning. Brad is grounded to second and then was retired by first baseman Freddie Thon when he tried to bunt his way on for the final out in the second. Strike one called to Brad Kuhn, a letter-high fastball on the inside corner. Brad, a .254 average on the year. No homers, 16 RBIs. Time is called as Flint Whipke goes back to second. Brett Martinez returns to the bag at first. Brad Kuhn drove in a run with the sacrifice fly in the 13th inning last night. A fastball juts just downstairs, and it's ball 1 to Kuhn. 1 ball, 1 strike to the left-handed hitting Colonel leadoff batter, who in 61 games, the Pioneer League champion Orem Owls last year, hit an even 300. A breaking pitch dips low, and it's ball 2. Brad Kuhn, one of the finest leadoff men in the league, always makes the pitcher work, and generally does a great job putting pressure on the defense by trying to bunt his way on at least one time a game. Brad fouls a fastball off to the left. Kyle Rogers came upstairs and had enough oomph on that fastball to prevent Brad from getting around on it. 2-1 Clinton here in the top of the 4th inning. Lumber King right-hander Kyle Rogers comes set above the belt. Delivers. Here's a high fly ball down the line and left. Casey Heron on the run has it, and returning to second is Clint Whipke. Casey Heron had to go a long way to his right, and near the line, he hauled in that fly ball out off the bat of Brad Kuhn. Brad's nothing for 3, and it'll be up to Heinley Stacia to try to keep his perfect night intact and try to get the big hit here in the 4th inning. The Kernels have had at least 1 base runner in every inning so far tonight, but have only managed to score 1 run on their 6 hits against Kyle Rogers. Stacia doubled in the 1st, singled into right in the 3rd inning, leading off. And a fastball is on the inside corner, strike 1 to Heinley. Stacia hit 368 games for Orem last year, just like Brad Kuhn did. There's a fastball upstairs that causes Ben Crabtree to have to rise out of his catching squat. John Whittleman is playing way off the line at 3rd. The Clinton infield plays the Colonel switch-hitting shortstop, batting left-handed to pull. Swing and a miss by Heinley, strike 2. We're approaching the top of the hour, and you're listening to Colonel Baseball on 1450 KMRY Cedar Rapids. 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 Clinton in the 4th. The 1-2 pitch to Stacia. Looped into left field. Easy play for Casey Heron. He's there and has it. Oh, where were those fly balls when we had runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out in the 3rd inning? Heinley Stacia flies to left. Outs are not all created equally, and boy, strikeouts have really hurt the Kernels here tonight. In the 4th inning, no runs for the Kernels, 1 hit, a walk, a wild pitch. There were no Clinton errors. The Kernels leave 2 more and have stranded 7 men in 4 innings. After 3.5, Clinton leads the Kernels 2-1, and you're tuned to Colonel Baseball here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth for reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. A new spin on an old vibe. From me to you, a tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears. And it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper, it's a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Alliant Energy Field in Clinton. John Mayberry, who struck out looking to lead off the 2nd, will lead off here in the 4th inning for the LumberKings. A 2-out walk drawn by John Whittleman in the second, followed by a Casey Heron 2-run blast onto the Lumber Lounge into right, and that erased a current 1-0 lead garnered by Dallas Morris's leadoff homer in the second inning. A pair of curveballs, one for a ball, one for a strike, have John Mayberry even on the count, 1-1. Mayberry, a 6'6" right-handed hitter, first-round draft pick by the Rangers. Lost the 1-1 pitch straight up and foul behind home plate, strike 2. 4 games against Burlington starting this Friday night. Pat McGrath Chevyland used car night, the first, or if you're 18 years and older with a valid driver's license, you could be one of 3 Kernel fans to drive away in a Pat McGrath Chevyland used car. The gates open at 6 and the game starts at 7 on Friday night. Mayberry cues the 1-2 pitch foul off the end of his bat towards the Kernel first base dugout. That one almost picked off the Kernel equipment manager standing right to the home plate side of the Kernel dugout. Stephen Merrick has his sign, winds and fires. Curve in the dirt, ball 2. Stephen does not have the classic full windup like Kyle Rogers, his opponent, used. Merrick thrusts his hands just above his letters underneath his chin, then brings them back down to his belt before unleashing his pitch. And he gets John Mayberry a swing and a miss. Clint Whipke dropped the ball, but he doesn't throw to first because Mayberry heads back to the Clinton third base dugout. John Mayberry couldn't lay off some high cheese from Stephen Merrick. 1 out here in the Clinton fourth inning. Terry Blunt out of Kansas State, a left-hand batter, now at the plate. Ball 1 is inside to Terry Blunt. Terry grounds one through the right side, and it's snapped up by Larry Infante, and Larry took a hit away from Terry Blunt with great range to his left. Larry Infante had to go far, far to his left, deep in the hole into shallow right to glove that 3-hopper, and then Larry pumped his throw to first and got Terry Blunt, and that is now 6 in a row set down by Colonel 22-year-old right-hander out of Texas, Stephen Merrick, M-A-R-E-K. John Whittleman drew a 2-out walk ahead of Casey Heron's 2-run homer in the second inning. That's the difference in the game right now. We're in the bottom of the fourth, 2-1 LumberKings. Fastball is over but low, ball 1 to left-handed hitting John Whittleman. John is 6'1", wears a pair of white batting gloves, and hits one high and deep to right, sending Jordan Renz back, and Jordan hauls it in. A hard hit smash by John Whittleman into right, caught by Jordan Renz, who had to move quickly back and to his right. And a 1-2-3 inning for Stephen Merrick. Merrick has retired Clinton in order in 3 of the first 4 innings tonight. After 4, with our Bruce Moore Bonanza question looming on the horizon, it's the LumberKings leading the Kernels 2-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Our medals are on us to make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Jordan Renz has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 2. Jordan singled off John Whittleman's glove in the first inning, and then doubled finally Stacia over to third in the third inning. Kernels have had great scoring chances this evening, but let them fall by the wayside. Let's see if they can put something together here in the middle innings. Jordan swings at the first pitch and fouls it up to the right. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question: who did Irene Douglas hire to develop a landscape plan for the Bruce Moore Gardens and Grounds? You'll find the answer on the Bruce Moore website, www.brucemore.org. Wren swings at a high fastball and misses. He's in the hole 0-2. If you've been a previous winner in our Bruce Moore Bonanza Stakes, please don't email me this evening, but otherwise, you can find the answer and email me at john@kernels.com, john@kernels.com. A breaking pitch, and Kyle Rogers records his 7th strikeout of this game, gets Jordan Wren swinging. 1 gone here in the 5th inning. 7 strikeouts already for Kyle Rogers. Mark Trumbo has walked and struck out. Boy, when you let scoring chances go by like we have tonight, sometimes that's the difference in the ball game. Ball 1 is low to Mark Trumbo. You'll email me the answer to the Bruce Moore Bonanza question right here in Clinton, john@kernels.com. JOHN@Kernels, KERNELS.com. Strike 1 in at the knees to Mark Trumbo. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question: who did Irene Douglas hire to develop a landscape plan for Bruce Moore Gardens and Grounds? Strike 2 on the outside corner to Trumbo. Mark tomahawks the 1-2 pitch foul off to the right. Mark Trumbo, the cleanup batter, hitting 185. 7 home runs, 22 runs driven in. There's a half swing, and Mark went around. Strike 3. 8 strikeouts now for Kyle Rogers. He has fooled our hitters with a vast array of change-up and breaking pitches. 2 away here in the Colonel 5th inning. Kyle Rogers is trying to retire the side order for the first time tonight. 2-1 LumberKings here in the top of the 5th. Jerry Oakes, a right-hander, starting to twirl in the LumberKing left field bullpen. I don't know if he's throwing for his own benefit or if Kyle Rogers has a strict pitch count limit. Ball 1 up and in to Tyler Johnson. Tyler's nothing for you tonight. Right-handed hitter. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question: who did Irene Douglas hire to develop a landscape plan for the Bruce Moore Gardens and Grounds? You'll find the answer on the Bruce Moore website, www.brucemore.org. And a pair of tour mansion passes plus a souvenir book from Bruce Moore will go to our winner. You can email me the answer here with your name and address at john@kernels.com. JOHN@Kernels, KERNELS.com. A fastball is upstairs, and Tyler Johnson is ahead in the count now. 3 balls, 1 strike. Kyle Rogers has walked a pair, allowed 6 hits, but only 1 run. A Dallas Morris leadoff homer back in the 2nd. Johnson fouls the pitch off the mask of the umpire, and that shook up the plate umpire just a bit. He gives Ben Crabtree a new ball, and Ben hustles it out to the mound to give the plate umpire a few minutes to get his senses back. Tyler Johnson steps all the way out of the dirt batting circle to tighten his gloves. The count is full to the Colonel number 5 hitter. Strike 3 called, and that's 9 strikeouts in 5 innings for Kyle Rogers. We are striking out at an unbelievably alarming rate. This ball club has to learn somehow this season to put the bat on the ball. The high strikeout rate of this Colonel ball club, to me, is just absolutely alarming. And really, you scratch your head and say, how can you stand there and, well, let's look at the positive. The opposition pitchers are outstanding in this league, just outstanding. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question: who did Irene Douglas hire to develop a landscape plan for the Bruce Moore Gardens and Grounds? You can email me your answers here, John@Kernels.com. You'll find the answer on the Bruce Moore website, www.brucemore.org, BRUCEMORE.org. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning, and the Kernels right in this ball game, trailing the LumberKings 2-1. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physical Therapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physical Therapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are two hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council world-class apprenticeship program. These experienced tradesmen will work with signed contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the high skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes.
Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. But you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
Casey Heron, whose 2-out, 2-run homer, has given the LumberKings a 2-1 lead in this game, is in old 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stephen Merrick, since surrendering the 2-run homer to Heron in the second and then a broken bat single to David Peterson, is retired. 7 straight LumberKings. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Heron yelps at the plate umpire, and I think Casey may have a valid beef in that case. Stephen Merrick records his 4th strikeout. Kyle Rogers, the Clinton right-hander, has fanned 8 Kernels, including striking out the side in the 3rd and the 5th inning. 2-1 LumberKings. Here's David Peterson, right-handed batter. He bunts, and this is a beautiful bunt fielded by Merrick, and he tosses just in time to get David Peterson. David bunted it between the mound and first base. Stephen Merrick scurried quickly to his left and reached down with his momentum carrying him towards first base. Merrick tossed it overhand just in the nick of time to get David Peterson. It went 1-3, and Stephen Merrick is on a roll. He is now retired 9 straight LumberKings. Merrick single-handedly keeping the Kernels in this game. Ball went inside to right-handed hitting catcher Ben Crabtree. 2-1 LumberKings. Both teams, I think. Here's a bounce ground ball hit sharply through the box, and that's a base hit. It's only the 3rd hit of the game for Clinton. Ben Crabtree snapped the streak of 9 in a row set down by Stephen Merrick. Crabtree, a 153 batter, grounds into center for a base hit. No winners in our Bruce Moore Bonanza question this evening. So we'll repeat the question and share the answer with you. Matt Smith is at plate, and a backdoor curve is just outside ball 1. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question asked, who did Irene Douglas hire to develop a landscape plan for the Bruce Moore Gardens and Grounds? The correct answer, O.C. Simons. O.C. Simons. Ground ball up the middle. Stacia with a dandy play to his left. Throws in time. How about Hunley Stacia? He covered a big amount of ground on a hard-hit ball slapped through the middle, and moving to his left, Stacia went down, gloved that hard-hit ground ball on 2 hops, and winged his throw across the diamond from near the bag at second to get Matt Smith, rob him a hit, and end the LumberKing 5th inning. No runs for Clinton. A 2-out single by Ben Crabtree. There were no Colonel errors, and Clinton leaves 1 man on. They've only stranded a pair. after 5 here at Alliant Energy Field. The Kernels trail the LumberKings 2-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
In today's work world, knowledge is power. Training for modern job skills is opportunity and security. And you have one of the best choices for your future right here in Eastern Iowa. It's Kirkwood. Kirkwood Community College offers over 100 degree programs to give you new job opportunities or a smart start on your college path. Find out more today. Call Kirkwood Admissions, 398-5517. Kirkwood. Start here. Go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Papa John, and when I say better ingredients, better pizza, I'm not talking about a little better. I'm talking about a lot better. Let's talk about our pizza sauce. It's made from fresh, fine, ripened tomatoes, not from concentrate. And when it comes to ingredients, we select from the world's best. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. A lot better.
Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and ask for the Home Run Special, a large, thin, or original crust pizza with up to 3 toppings for $10.99. Just $10.99.
Great teams consist of diverse talent. Rockwell Collins understands this and is committed to developing diversity in our community. We recognize that our leadership in the aviation and communications electronics industry hinges on attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. And we're working with other Iowa companies to create an environment that nurtures diversity. Rockwell Collins. Different thinking makes us great. Great thinking makes us different.
Well, Kyle Rogers follows a great outing here Friday night for LumberKings, and in that outing, his 10th start of the year, he went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, no earned on 3 hits, struck out 9, walked 3. Tonight against the Kernels, he's lifted after 5 spectacular innings. Rogers surrendered 1 run to the Kernels on 6 hits in 5 innings, struck out 8, walked 2. Jerry Oaks takes over on the hill for the LumberKings, 24-year-old tall right-hander. And he'll face Larry Infante. Larry may try to bunt his way on here. Strike 1 winged in from Jerry Oaks. Oaks has been around the block. He broke into pro baseball in 2001. He's a tall right-hander, 6'5", 200 pounds from Pennsylvania, taken by the Brewers in the 7th round in the 2000 draft. Jerry Oaks working from the stretch, the 1-1 to Infante. Paints the outside corner, strike 2. Larry has struck out twice tonight. The numbers 6, 7, and 8 men in the Kernel order to face Jerry Oaks, the relief pitcher here in the top of the 6th inning. A slicing drive, foul by about 2 feet down the left field line. Larry Infante narrowly missed a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Again, the final line on Kyle Rogers. 5 innings pitched. He allowed 1 run, a leadoff homer by Dallas Morris in the 2nd. On 6 hits, struck out 8, walked 2. Jerry Oaks has pitched with the Brewer organization, the Cardinals, the Braves. This is his 4th organization, so that tells you he can pitch. Change-up, and the 9th strikeout recorded by Clinton pitching tonight is Larry Infante fans for the 3rd time.
Dallas Morris.
Dallas Morris has homered and lined to center. When a guy's with his 4th organization, some people would think, well, that must mean he's not very good. It's just the opposite. If you're with your 4th organization, that means you're pretty good. It just means that things didn't work out for you, or there was a numbers game, or perhaps the organization you were with was stocked with good players at your position. A powering pop-up to the left side of the Clinton infield will be the 2nd out of the inning. Matt Smith calls off the 3rd baseman John Whittleman, and Dallas Morris pops out to short. 2 away here in the Kernel 6th inning. 2-1 LumberKings. This game really turned in the 1st to 3rd inning for the Kernels as far as offense goes. Runners or bases loaded with 1 out in the 1st, and Kyle Rogers struck out the next 2 Kernels. Then the Kernels had runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out in the 3rd inning, and Kyle Rogers fanned 3 in a row. And that's why the LumberKings lead it here in the 6th inning, 2-1. Flint Whipke fouls the first pitch straight back, strike 1. Now a fastball low. Flint singled and advanced to second on a wild pitch in the fourth inning. Kernels have stranded 7 men. Ball 1 low to Flint, now the 1-1. Fastball inside, it's 2-1 to Whipkey. Jerry Oaks on for the 6th time this year out of the Clinton bullpen, no record. He's been tagged for 10 hits in 8 innings. Here's a drive into deep right center, sending Terry Punta way back at the wall. He had it and dropped it. Clint Whipkey will stop at second with 2 out. It'll either be a double or error on Terry Blunt. And they've charged Terry Blunt with an error. Terry had to go way, way back in right center, got to it, had it in his mitt, and then dropped it. And they're debating whether to credit Flint with a double or charge Terry Blunt with an error. Quite frankly, I'm glad I don't have to make the call. They've charged Terry Blunt with his first error of the year. Flint Whipkey is at second as the tying run. With 2 out, a 2-base error charged to Terry Blunt. Now a swing and a foul off the chest protector of the plate umpire by Brett Martinez. Terry Blunt had to go back and to his right into deep, deep right center. Got his glove on Flint Whipkey's drive, but dropped it. Now a sweeping breaking pitch, and Jerry Oaks wanted the call, didn't get it from the plate umpire. It's ball 1 to Brett Martinez. Tying run at second, 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning for the Kernels. There's a curve for a strike. 1-2 now to Brett Martinez. Brett is grounded to second and walked. He's trying to give the Kernels a lift with a big 2-out hit here in the top of the 6th inning. A big 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock curveball is outside to Brett Martinez. Jerry Oaks, no record this year, on in relief of Kyle Rogers. And his fastball is upstairs, ball 3. Oaks in 8 innings has allowed 10 runs on 10 hits, struck out 2 and walked 6. Jerry spells his first name Gerry. Ground ball right back to Oaks. Jerry has it, underhands to first, and he's out of the inning. Brett Martinez on a 3-2 pitch, banked it on one hop to the left of Jerry Oaks. Jerry wicked down to stab it, and then underhanded to first to get Brett Martinez. In the 6th inning for Kernels, no runs, no hits, 1 LumberKing error. The Kernels strand a runner, that 8th runner we've left on tonight. Clinton comes to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the LumberKings lead it 2-1. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. Even though we all do our best to stay healthy, we can never anticipate when an illness or accident might strike. Couple that reality with rising medical costs, and the importance of a top-notch medical plan becomes clear. Pekin Insurance offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount. To explore the major medical insurance plan that best fits you, visit me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child's ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safe cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
This Sunday, June 4th, Bird Zirk will be at the ballpark. The zany, hilarious, lovable, unpredictable mascot and entertainer will be at Veterans Memorial Stadium Sunday afternoon, this Sunday, June 4th. Perfect game baseball card day as well. The first 1,000 of you Kernel fans to come to the game on Sunday afternoon receive a set of Kernel baseball cards. Stephen Merrick has fallen behind Jose Vallejo 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-1 LumberKings. Vallejo, a hitter, is grounded out twice tonight. Strike one called on the outside corner at the knees. Sunday's a family fun day at the ballpark as well. The Kernels will sign autographs from 1:20 until 1:40. Vallejo late on a swing, and he tips it foul in the glove of Brett Martinez. Boy, is Stephen Merrick shined on the hill for the Kernels tonight. Through 5 innings, he's allowed 2 runs on just 3 hits. And the LumberKings are on top 2-1. Bottom of the 6th inning. Curve and a swing and a miss. Stephen Merrick got Jose Vallejo on a changeup, actually, not a curveball, a changeup, and that is now 5 strikeouts for the 22-year-old Colonel right-hander. A 2-out walk to John Whittleman II, and a 2-run homer, his first of the year by Casey Herron, came for the LumberKing runs. A broken bat grounder to first. Mark Trumbo waves off Stephen Merrick, and Freddie Thon is 0 for 3 as he either broke his bat or lost the handle and bounces out to first baseman Mark Trumbo. 2 away here in the LumberKings 6th inning. And the batter, John Mayberry. Mayberry is struck out twice. After the game on Sunday, you can run the bases thanks to Velocity Sports Performance. And Sunday, fitness is a hit at the ballpark. Sponsored by the American Heart Association, St. Luke's Hospital, and Velocity Sports Performance, Sunday is a family fitness day. That means that there'll be booths set up along the concourse Sunday afternoon with helpful high drive to deep center. Kuhn is back in front of the warning track. Kuhn waits, and Brad has it. John Mayberry hit high in the air to straightaway center. Kuhn had plenty of room between he and the warning track, and Brad brought it down in straightaway center to end the 6th inning. Down in order go the LumberKings. Stephen Merrick has retired Clinton in order 4 out of 6 times so far tonight. Let me tell you a bit more about the Family Fun Fitness Day at the ballpark this Sunday. It's sponsored by the American Heart Association, St. Luke's Hospital, and Velocity Sports Performance. There'll be booths set up on the concourse at the ballpark, and the booths will be staffed by professionals who will be there to tell you and your family and friends about nutrition, fitness, and health. And then after the game, there'll be fun activities planned on the field along with running the bases. The gates open at 1 o'clock for the 2 o'clock start this Sunday at home. For Colonel tickets, call 896-7560, 896-7560. We go to the top of the 7th inning in the Lion Energy Field, and it's the LumberKings 2, the Kernels 1. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Brad Kuhn will lead it off for the Kernels here in the top of the 7th inning against Jerry Oaks. Kuhn takes outside, ball 1. Top of the order for the Kernels here in the top of the 7th. Kernels have out-hit Clinton 6-3, but trail 2-1. Kuhn is nothing for 3 so far tonight. There's ball 2 outside to Brad. Thanks to State Farm Insurance agents Brad Dunn, Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, and Gary Schubat, we can bring you a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Kuhn fakes bunt, and ball 3 is delivered low and outside by Jerry Oaks. Brad is grounded out to second. Been retired on a punt attempt by Freddie Thon, unassisted in the first baseman. Ball 4, and Brad Kuhn draws the third Colonel walk issued by Clinton pitching tonight. Kuhn walks, and the Kernels have the tying run at first with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Let's see if the Kernels play hit and run, bunt and run, straight steal, or what they have up their sleeve with the tying run Kuhn at first and nobody out here in the 7th. Heinley Station 2 for 3 tonight. John Whittleman is creeping way in on the grass at third and throw to first, and the league's leading base stealer Brad Kuhn dives back in safely. This afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard in the National League, the Nationals trim the Phillies 3-2 at Citizens Bank Ballpark. First pitch to Stacia from Gary Oaks. There goes Kuhn. And a tap to the left side. It's a base hit. Through the hole. Hit and run single. Kuhn is speeding to third without a play. Heinley Stacia with a perfectly executed hit and run single. Tapped it through the left side. Right through the shortstop hole vacated by Matt Smith, who was going from shortstop to cover second. Heinley Stacia got wood on it and bounced it through the left side. Brad Kuhn was running on the play. That opened up the hole on the left side of the Clinton infield. Kuhn mortared to third safely on Heinley Stacia's third hit of the game. And the Kernels are in business now with runners at the corners and nobody out. Jordan Renz will try to tie this game or perhaps even put the Kernels in front. First and third for the Colonel leading RBI man, Jordan Renz. On the State Farm Major League scoreboard today at Busch Stadium in 11 innings, the Cardinals edged Houston 4-3. And at Petco Park, the Padres clipped the Rockies 3-2. Ball 1, a fastball inside to Jordan Renz from Jerry Oaks. 2-1 LumberKings here in the 7th. The Kernels have runners at the corners. A leadoff walk drawn by Kuhn, and then a beautifully executed hit-and-run single sent Kuhn to third. Heinley Station was, look out! A pitch drills Jordan Renz in the upper back. Jordan's fine. He trots to first to load the bases. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out, and Mark Trumbo's batter. A visit to the hill by the Clinton catcher, Ben Crabtree. This afternoon in the American League, the Mariners drubbed Texas 14-5 in Arlington, and at the Coliseum, the Athletics crowned the Royals 7-0. Kansas City made a big change in their management. They fired Allard Baird, and they're going to bring in. Here's a high fly ball into right that'll tie the game. Brad Kuhn will score as John Mayberry makes the catch. Heinley Stacia goes to third, and it's first and third, one out. A tie game set to Mark Trumbo stepping into the first pitch and lofting it into right. Mark Trumbo with the sacrifice fly ties the game. Brad Kuhn dashed home from third. Heinley Stacia went from second to third on the fly ball out to right. Off the bat of Mark Trumbo, his 23rd RBI of the year, and it ties the game 2-2 here in the 7th inning. And here comes Stan Hilton, the LumberKing pitching coach. Tyler Johnson, who has struck out 3 times, now becomes a key man in this 7th inning. He goes halfway up the line, and Bobby Magallanes puts his arm over the shoulder of Tyler Johnson and has a talk with him. Now, let's pick up where we are in the State Farm Major League scoreboard in the National League. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning at PNC Park, and the Pirates are clubbing Milwaukee 5-0. Top of the 6th inning at Dolphin Stadium, the Giants lead the Marlins 3-0. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning at Shea Stadium, scoreless, the Mets and Diamondbacks. In Atlanta, the Braves lead the Dodgers 5-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score at Wrigley between the Cubs and Reds. They're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Tyler Johnson swings and taps the first pitch foul, strike 1. First and third, one out for the Kernels, who have tied the game at 2 here in the top of the 7th inning. Heinley Stacia, the no-head run at third. Jordan Renz at first. Tyler Johnson falls behind 0-2 as he tops the pitch foul behind home plate. Jerry Oaks ahead of the Colonel number 5 hitter, 0-2. They're in the bottom fifth inning at Jacob Field in Cleveland. The Indians lead the White Sox 3-0. And the Yankees and Tigers being delayed by rain at Comerica Park. Jerry Oates, the slender 24-year-old tall right-hander, throws to first and Wren's back standing up. Tampa Bay leads the Orioles at Camden Yards 5-4 in the bottom of the fifth inning. The Red Sox are ahead of Toronto 5-2 in the bottom of the fourth at Rogers Center. Later tonight, the Twins and our parent club, the Angels. There goes Wren's. Swing and a miss. The throw to second. Jordan is safe by a whisker. Tyler Johnson strikes up for the fourth time. 2 gone here in the seventh inning. And Wren's picked the right pitch to go on, a changeup that fooled Tyler Johnson. And 2 gone here in the seventh inning. Larry Infante, who has struck out 3 times, will try to deliver a blow that could put the Kernels ahead. Boy, Jordan Wren's steals his third base of the year. It was a very good throw by Ben Crabtree, but Jordan just beat it. Now, ball 1 upstairs to Larry Infante. Tyler Johnson is a guy the Kernels are going to have to work with, and he's going to have to work very hard in order to see his young career prosper and flourish. This game of baseball is the most difficult of all to master, and Tyler has some great tools, including speed and power. And that's why he's here with us in the Midwest League, to try to hone those skills. A 2-0 pitch to Larry Infante, and he pounds it foul off the plate towards the Colonel first base dugout. 2-2 our score here in the top of the seventh inning. Larry Infante, left-handed hitter, straightaway stance. Here's a bunt up the first baseline, foul, strike 2 to Larry. That's how desperate the Kernels are to put the ball in play. I credit Bobby Magianis for trying to avoid a strikeout, and he tried to bunt that go-ahead run home with 2 out. That's one thing about Bobby. He subscribes to the axiom that if you do the same thing over and over again, expect to get the same results. And by the Kernels in this rash of strikeouts, Bobby says, well, a guy's likely to at least get the bat on the ball trying to bunt it. Here's a hard hit smash to short, knocked down by Matt Smith, and he throws it away past first. 2-run score to give the Kernels the lead. 2-run score. Larry Infante goes to second, and the Kernels take the lead here in the seventh inning, 4-2. Larry Infante hit right on the nose, and I think Jordan Wren, the runner going from second to third, obscured the vision of Matt Smith, who made a very fine backhanded stop to knock it down. And then Matt Smith threw it to the right field side of the bag. Freddie Thon dove desperately to try to prevent a wild throw, but it got by Freddie, and it'll likely be an error on Matt Smith. It allows Heinle Stacia to score from third, and Jordan Wren's all the way from second. Now Dallas Morris hammers one into deep left center. Underneath it is the left fielder, Casey Herron, and Casey puts it away to end the inning. We're not sure how they've ruled the ball hit by Larry Infante. We know that the shortstop, Matt Smith, has been charged with a throwing error. On the throwing error, the go-ahead run scores, Stacia from third and Wren's from second. In the seventh inning for the Kernels, 3 runs on. Now, have they credited Larry Infante? They have not credited Larry Infante with a hit. 3 runs on 1 hit, 1 LumberKing error. The Kernels leave 1 and have stranded 9. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning at Alliant Energy Field, and the Kernels lead the game now 4-2. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, how can you differentiate one realtor from another? The distinction is clear when you consider the remarkable offer that Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty makes. Dick Ramsey's offer is unprecedented. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. That extraordinary pledge bears instant replay. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. For the best home buying or home selling experience in Cedar Rapids, turn to the home team. Skogman Realty's Dick Ramsey.
Looking to take your baseball or softball game to the next level? The premier place to do it is Perfect Game, located across the street from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Perfect Game's professional baseball and softball instructors will help improve your pitching, hitting, throwing, fielding, and base running ability in Iowa's premier training facility. For the best individual baseball and softball instruction and training, visit Perfect Game. That's Perfect Game, just a fly ball away from Veterans Memorial Stadium.
Here we go to the bottom of the seventh inning. Steve Merrick is ahead of Terry Blunt. No balls, 2 strikes. The Kernels erupted for 3 runs on 1 hit, a walk, a hit batsman, a sacrifice fly, and a 2-run throwing error by shortstop Matt Smith in the top of the 7th inning. Ball 1 is outside to Terry Blunt, who is 0-for-2. He's grounded out twice. Left-handed hitter. Curve, and it's grounded to first. Mark Trumbo has it. Underhands to Merrick, and that's the 3rd time tonight that Mark Trumbo has combined with Stephen Merrick to record a 3-1 putout on a Clinton batter. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Kernels are trying to win for the 4th straight time on this 8-game commuter road trip to Davenport and Clinton. The key to the entire Kernel 3-run 7th was a hit-and-run single by Heinley Stacia. John Whittleman, who walked and scored in front of K.C. Herron's 2-run homer in the 2nd, watches a curveball dip low, ball 1 from Stephen Merrick. Stephen was a 3-2 winner Friday night in Davenport earlier on this road trip. There's a changeup low, ball 2 to Whittleman. Our baseball fun fact takes us back to 1992. Deion Sanders played in only 97 games for the Atlanta Braves, but prime time led the National League in triples with 14. A 2-0 pitch is fouled off to the left. Strike 1 on John Whittleman. Deion Sanders led the National League in triples for the Braves in 1992, despite playing only 97 games. Strike 2 called, a fastball from the Colonel right-hander Stephen Merrick. John Whittleman, a .224 hitter, no homers, 11 runs driven in, and he steps out and takes a practice cut. Stephen Merrick nods yes to Brett Martinez. And they connect for a strikeout. John Whittleman was rung up by the plate umpire. A fastball on the outside corner at knees. And that's now 6 strikeouts for the Colonel right-hander, Stephen Merrick. My goodness, the Colonel starting pitching this season has been absolutely sensational. When you look at the starts our starters have given us since the season opened in early April, you have to just be really amazed. There's an Uncle Charlie in for a strike call to K.C. Herron. The Colonel pitching staff is ranked 6th in the Midwest League with a 3.46 ERA, 6th out of 14 teams. Ball 1 just misses outside. But the Colonel starting rotation has been so consistent this year. Every time out, the Colonel starters have kept the Colonels in every game. Here's a high, lazy fly ball into straightaway left. Tyler Johnson has to come in 2 steps to glove it. K.C. Herron skies to left, and that is now 7 straight set down by 23-year-old Colonel right-hander Stephen Merrick. He has been in total command through 7 innings here tonight at Alliant Energy Field, where after 7, the Colonels lead Clinton 4-2. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
When it comes to making buying decisions, people let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with ads, coupons, restaurant menus, and more. Delivering to homes and businesses throughout the area, Yellow Book combines the features consumers want with advertising rates business owners can afford. To place your ad, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Beacon insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Beacon Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
Peck's Flower and Garden Shop is celebrating a milestone. 50 years of business in the Cedar Rapids community, and they know that now is an ideal time to think about enhancing your garden, doing some landscaping, or perhaps planting some new plants or some perennials. Whatever your landscaping, gardening, or planting needs, Peck's Flower and Garden Shop stands ready with their expert, knowledgeable staff to help you. Peck's is open each weeknight until 8 o'clock, until 5 o'clock Saturday and Sunday, and they're located at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast. That's Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, and Landscaping. Opening up the Kernel 8th inning and lofting a shallow fly into left center is Clint Whipke, and it's caught by Terry Blunt. 1 out here in the Kernel 8th inning for 2 Kernels. Jerry Oakes is gone after 2 innings. He surrendered 3 runs, only 1 earned on 1 hit, struck out 1, walked 1, and hit 1. Kevin Altman's the new pitcher, a right-hander for Clinton, and he gets Clint Whipke to fly center. Getting back to Deion Sanders and his 14 triples to lead the league in only 97 games in 1992, Deion Sanders didn't quite fit into the Braves' team philosophy. He was kind of a me guy. Well, what would you expect from a guy whose nicknames were Neon Deion in prime time? I still remember that ugly incident when Sanders went to play a football playoff game for the Falcons during the playoffs in October, and Tim McCarver criticized him for it, and Sanders snuck in behind Tim McCarver and doused him with a bucket of ice water in the Braves clubhouse. Brett Martinez on a 2-1 count takes a strike from Kevin Altman. 4-2 in favor of the Kernels here in the top of the 8th inning. Kevin Altman pitched in last night's game, and he gets Brett Martinez to tip 1 foul into the catcher's mitt of Ben Crabtree. 2 away here in the Kernel 7th inning, or Kernel 8th inning. Kevin Altman pitched 1 inning last night, allowed no runs, 1 hit, struck out 2, walked none. Altman, a 6'2 right-hander, 21 years old, was a 16th round pick in 2003 by the Rangers. Brad Kuhn got the Kernel rally. The 3-run rally started in the 7th when he drew a walk. A leadoff walk. Altman's 1-0 is fouled straight back. It seems like both ball clubs are trying to kind of even scale out in terms of all the fatigue and toll that last night's 13-inning marathon took. This has been a very briskly played ball game. Brad Kuhn ropes one down the left field line, and in foul ground, a running catch by Casey Heron. Casey Heron on a dead sprint went across the left field foul line into the Clinton bullpen and made a fine running backhanded catch on a Brad Kuhn tailing foul fly down the left field line. And Kevin Altman retires the Kernels in order in the top of the 8th inning. Kernel starter Stephen Merrick out to the mound for the bottom of the 8th inning. And here at Alliant Energy Field, after 7.5, the Kernels lead Clinton 4-2. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the dates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Yes.
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help. With a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
A fast-moving game as we go to bottom of the 8th inning here at Alliant Energy Field. 4-2 Kernels. Stephen Merrick will face David Peterson, who has one of the 3 LumberKing hits tonight, a broken bat single following the 2-run homer back in the second by LumberKing Casey Herron. And swatting the first pitch foul over the Kernel first base dugout, strike one, David Peterson. David in 18 games, batting .207, no homers, 3 RBIs. He's a right-handed batter, and he lives in the town that put Nike on the map, Beaverton, Oregon. Swing and a tip foul into the glove of Brett Martinez, strike 2. We have a correction on the final line on starter Kyle Rogers for Clinton. 5 innings pitched. He allowed 1 run on 6 hits. Fanned 9 Kernels, not 8. Walked 2. Stephen Merrick into his windup, the 0-2, and that one is sliced foul off the end of the bat by the right-handed hitter Peterson. Strike. The count remains 0-2. The Kernels are 3-3 here in this ballpark in the month of May. We open up a new month tomorrow. A slider low and outside to David Peterson. And the game tomorrow will be at 7 o'clock, a 6:40 South Slope Communications triple play show time. Merrick's 1-2. Fouled off the facade of the grandstand roof behind home plate. Nothing doing in the Kernel bullpen as Stephen Merrick has pitched a super game through 7 innings. He struck out 6, walked 1, and allowed only 2 runs on 3 hits. Peterson swings at a low fastball and misses. That's the 7th strikeout for Stephen Merrick, and Merrick has now retired 8 straight LumberKings. Stephen Merrick has been the story of this ball game. Now Ben Crabtree at the plate. Ben has one of the 3 LumberKing hits. A big curveball is a strike on the inside corner to Crabtree. Ben, a slightly open stance, rattles it to third. Diving stop by Dallas Morris. Throw in the dirt. Dug out by Trumbo. Oh, Dallas Morris just robbed Ben Crabtree of his 2nd hit of the night. Dallas dove to his left on a hard hit 2-up smash, popped to his feet, and then pegged in the dirt. But Mark Trumbo, with some snazzy glove work at first, dug it out, and that is the 2nd out here in the LumberKing 8th inning, and that is now 9 straight hitters set down by Kernel right-hander Stephen Merrick. Ball 1 is high to Matt Smith, who was robbed of a hit by Heinle Stacia short his last time up. Matt Smith lines it hard into left, coming on Tyler Johnson. Johnson there and makes the catch. 10 straight have been retired by right-hander Stephen Merrick. Stephen Merrick has set down 10 in a row. And he retires Clinton in order for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th time. For the 6th time in 8 innings, Stephen Merrick sets the side down in order. Kernels come to bat in the top of the 9th inning, looking for their 4th win in a row on this road trip, and are leading the LumberKings 4-2. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. And you, Susan Sweet, take Giuseppe Florentino. You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta. Authentically prepared as Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, a pasta esclusivo. Come to Zio Giano's for il Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hot stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for. Just sugar.
The LumberKings go to their bullpen for the third time as we go to the top of the ninth inning. It's the top of the hour, and we want to remind you that this is Kernel Baseball on 1450 KMRY, Cedar Rapids. J.B. Diaz is on the hill. Kevin Altman worked a quick and efficient eighth inning, retiring the Kernels in order. Altman, one inning pitched, allowed no runs, no hits, struck out one, walked none. Right-hander J.B. Diaz delivers a strike in at the knees to Heinle Stacia. Stacia has 3 of the Kernels' 7 hits. He executed a perfectly hit-and-run single in the Kernel 3-run 7th inning. Heinle falls behind 0-2 as he pokes one foul off to the left. J.B. Diaz, 2-1 on the year. Started 2 games for Clinton this year. This is his 12th relief appearance. And there's a high fly ball into right center on the run. Flagging it down is Terry Blunt, the center fielder. Heinle Stacia's bid for a 4th hit was turned aside on a fine running catch in the right center field gap by Terry Blunt. J.B. Diaz, 2-1 this year, a 6.93 ERA. He's pitched 24 2/3 innings, allowed 33 hits, has struck out 13 in 24 2/3, walked 11 in the league, hitting .317 against J.B. Diaz. Jordan Renz chops the first pitch foul towards the Clinton third base dugout, strike one. 4-2 Kernels, and we're in the top of the ninth inning already. Last night's 13-inning game took 3 hours and 26 minutes. Here's a little slope or a high bouncer in front of the plate. J.B. Diaz pops off the hill. Man, did he get to that ball quickly. A Baltimore chop off the plate, and Jordan Renz is thrown up by the pitcher. 2 away here in the Kernel ninth inning. 4-2 Kernels. Here's Mark Trumbo, the first baseman. Trumbo tied the game his last time up. Runners at first and third, or bases loaded, nobody out, and Trumbo delivered home Brad Kuhn from third with the sacrifice fly. Ball one outside to Trumbo from J.B. Diaz. Now a changeup outside. Ryan Aldridge is warming up for the Kernels down the right field line. I don't know if that's a indication that Stephen Merrick will be lifted from the game after 8 stellar innings. I just can't predict that. Now ball 3 is upstairs to Trumbo. Ryan Aldridge was shaken up Monday afternoon on a pinch hit line drive single off his right ankle by Terry Blunt. Strike one at the knees to Trumbo. Mark has walked, struck out twice, and driven in the tying run in this game with that sacrifice fly his last time up. Trumbo laces one to the right field corner, tailing foul into the Kernel right field bullpen. For the first time tonight, we see the sunshine. It's lighting up the 16-foot high plywood wall that runs from left field all the way to the right field foul pole. The hitter's eye here is a 16-foot high black plywood fence. 401 feet to deep right center here. 2 away in the Colonel 9th. Base is empty. Payoff pitch to Trumbo. Wrapped through the middle for a base hit. What an effort by Matt Smith to dive headlong behind the bag at second, but he couldn't stop that hard hit smash on the ground through the middle by Mark Trumbo. And the Kernels have Trumbo at first with 2 out here in the 9th inning, and a chance for Tyler Johnson to put the ball in play for the first time tonight. Tyler's 0 for 4 and is struck out 4 times. Tyler Johnson doubled last night high off the right center field wall. Johnson swings and fouls it off the chest protector of the plate umpire. And that one really drilled the home plate umpire. He asked the catcher, Ben Crabtree, to go to the mound and buy some time. I mean, that plate umpire really took a hard hit foul ball into his chest protector. And Tyler Johnson, in a good gesture of sportsmanship, walks towards the plate umpire and asks if he's all right. Mark Trumbo at first. 2 gone here in the Colonel 9th inning, and the Colonels lead it 4-2. Tyler Johnson takes strike 2 called. J.B. Diaz. Still not sure whether Ryan Aldridge will be called upon to face the LumberKings in the bottom of the 9th, or whether Stephen Merrick will be given a chance to go the distance. Diaz is set. And he misses high with the 0-2 pitch to Tyler Johnson. A 3-run Colonel 7th that saw the Colonels get only 1 hit, but what a big hit it was. A hit-and-run single. Bounced through the left side of the LumberKing infield by Heinle Stacia that set the table for the Colonel 3-run 7th. Swing and a miss by Tyler. He's down on strikes, and the Colonels are gone in the 9th inning. No runs. 1 hit. There were no LumberKing errors. The Colonels leave a runner aboard and have stranded 10. Let's see if we can spot. Stephen Merrick will try to go the distance and become only the second Colonel to complete a game this season. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning at Alliant Energy Field, and the Colonels lead the LumberKings 4-2. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on old vibes from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, he's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mash up of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details on homeowners insurance with complete coverage and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
Jose Vallejo, the number 2 hitter in the LumberKing order, will face Stephen Merrick, who will try to complete what he started. He's been brilliant this evening. He's retired 10 in a row, and he fires a fastball in for a strike called. Jose Vallejo, 0 for 3 so far tonight, a switch hitter batting left. Merrick's next delivery is a strike on the outside corner. The last Clinton Lumber King batter to reach, Ben Crabtree, with a 2-out single back in the 5th inning. 4-2 Kernels, the 0-2. Strike 3 called! Stephen Merrick gets Jose Vallejo looking on 3 pitches, and that is now 11 in a row retired by the Kernel starter, Stephen Merrick. 11 straight for Merrick, and 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Now Stephen faces 309 hitting Freddie Thon. Curveball, strike 1 called. Merrick has retired the side in order 6 out of 8 times tonight. The 0-1 to Freddie Thon. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Boy, Stephen Merrick looks very, very strong here in the bottom of the 9th inning. I think he appreciates Bobby Magallanes and Kernan Ronan, the Colonel pitching coach, giving him a chance to try to finish the game. Ground ball to deep short. Stacia can't handle it, and it'll be an error on Heinle Stacia. Freddie Thon hit it softly to the left side on an 0-2 pitch. Heinle Stacia got to it and then fumbled it, and that is the first error charged to the Kernels tonight. We have a pinch runner coming in for the LumberKings, and Truan Mell will run for Freddie Thon. Truan Mell, the pinch runner at first for Freddie Thon. And here comes Kernan Ronan having a Mercy Medical Center heart-to-heart conversation with Stephen Merrick, and they're discussing how to pitch to the dangerous home run threat, John Mayberry. This heart-to-heart conversation between Kernan Ronan and Stephen Merrick, sponsored by Mercy Medical Center. Everyone says you've got a wonderful heart. Mercy Medical Center can help you keep it that way with a $35 heart-to-heart screening from Mercy Medical Center. It's quick, easy, and convenient. It could save your life. To schedule a heart-to-heart screening from Mercy, call Mercy 398-6821. 398-6821. A big yellow hammer is just inside. Ball 1 to John Mayberry. 4-2 Kernels. Tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 away. Breaking pitch downstairs. 2-0 now to John Mayberry. Ryan Aldridge is working in the Kernel bullpen down the right field line. Heinle Stacia could not handle a ground ball softly hit by the batter moments ago, Freddie Thon. Freddie reached on the error, and then Truan Mell is coming to run for Thon. Here's a big swing and a miss by John Mayberry. Mayberry belted a 2-run homer, a tape measure shot in the bottom of the 13th last night to cut the Kernel lead to 5-4. Chris Howell then got the next 3 Clinton hitters to earn his second save in as many games. Mayberry takes another healthy cut and fouls the pitch off the mask of the plate umpire. Man, that plate umpire has taken a shelling behind the plate tonight. Two and two now to John Mayberry. Stephen Merrick had his string of 11 in a row snapped when Freddie Thon put the ball in play on an 0-2 count. Mayberry on a fastball cues it off the end of his bat, foul into the screen just in front of the Kernel first base dugout. 4-2 Kernels, 1 out, 1 on. Tying run at the plate for the LumberKings. The Kernels are trying to win their 4th in a row on this 8-game road trip to Davenport and Clinton. Nothing has ever been easy this season for this ball club. Curve and a swing and a miss! Swing and a miss! And that's the 9th strikeout of the game for Stephen Merrick. 9 strikeouts for Merrick as he gets John Mayberry 2 gone here in the 9th inning. Two away for Terry Blunt, a .266 hitter with a homer and 18 RBIs. Truan Mell, the pinch runner, leads away at first here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's running a pitch low, and a stolen base for Truman Mel. Mel steals second. The curveball from Stephen Merrick was taken low by Terry Blunt. Left-handed batter. Mel at second, and Stephen Merrick with the 1-0 pitch. A bunt, and it may be good enough for a base hit. It is, and Mel will round third, but stop. It's a base hit bunt for Terry Blunt. Blunt bunted it to the left of home plate. I don't think, had Dallas Morris fielded it cleanly, I don't think Dallas would have had any chance to get Terry Blunt. And the pinch runner, Truman Mel, after stealing third, advances to third on the bunt single by Terry Blunt. Tying run at first, 2 out. First and third, John Whittleman. And we're going to have a pitching change, I think. I think the Kernels will lift Stephen Merrick. Bobby Magianis is out to the hill. I'm not sure Bobby will bring in Ryan Aldridge or not. Bobby's gathered his entire infield around him. And this is what great fans, the LumberKing fans, are. Listen to the hand they give to the visiting pitcher, Stephen Merrick. Stephen leaves this game having gone 8 2/3. And in 8 2/3, Stephen has allowed only 2 runs on just 4 hits. Merrick striking out a season-high 9 batters, walked only 1. And this call to the Colonel Bullpen is brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Well, Ryan Aldridge will come in under pressure once again. Ryan Aldridge, the Colonel closer, will try to save this one for Stephen Merrick. Again, the partial line on Merrick, 8 2/3. 2 runs, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. Ryan Aldridge, 1-2 on the year with 9 saves, a 4.63 ERA. Ryan, a right-hander out of Middle Georgia College, has pitched 23 1/3 innings, allowed 22 hits in 23 1/3, struck out 35 in 23 1/3, walked 11, and the league is hitting .250 against Ryan Aldridge. Ryan will have to face John Whittleman, who walked and scored on a Casey Herron 2-run homer, the only 2 runs scored tonight by the LumberKings. That 2-run homer came off of starter Stephen Merrick back in the 2nd inning. The bunt single by Terry Blunt was charged by Dallas Morris, who barehanded it, but then couldn't find the handle, and it was a bunt single all the way. The Kernels have committed 1 error in this inning, and the LumberKings have runners at the corners with 2 out, and John Whittleman at the plate. Ball 1, a fastball low from Ryan Aldridge. Ryan pitched a third of an inning in the Colonel Memorial Day win here Monday afternoon. Hard hit smash, diving stop by Stacia, throws the batter out. Heinley Stacia with what could have been a game-saving stab. John Whittleman whipped it hard up the middle. Heinley Stacia dove to his left, took a hit, took a run away from the LumberKings, popped to his feet, and pegged out John Whittleman. Some defense tonight by the Kernels. Outstanding pitching, stellar defense, timely hitting, and the Kernels parlay it into their 4th win in a row on this 8-game road trip. What a play by Stacia to rob John Whittleman of an RBI single and to prevent the LumberKings from scoring and to douse a raging LumberKings scoring threat here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Kernels win it 4-2. In the 9th, no runs for Clinton. 1 hit, a bunt single. There was 1 Colonel error. The LumberKings leave 2. They stranded 4. The Kernels have won 4 in a row and played a magnificent game this evening in turning back the LumberKings, the final 4-2. We'll be back in just a moment with the totals, highlights, and more. That's coming up next on the Colonel Curtain Call here on the Colonel Radio Network.
It's time for the Kernels Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers.
Welcome back to Alliant Energy Field, where the Kernels have streaked to their fourth win in a row behind a brilliant outing from starter Stephen Merrick and a 3-run seventh-inning rally. The Kernels turned back the LumberKings 4-2. The LumberKings, or rather the Kernels, took the lead over the LumberKings in the second inning. A leadoff home run by Dallas Morris. It was Dallas's fourth home run of the year, and it came off starter Kyle Rogers, who struck out 9 Kernels in his 5 innings of work tonight. Dallas Morris's home run resulted in another $25 being donated from PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir in PRC's Home Runs for the Hungry campaign. The 31st Kernel home run of the year now has PRC's Community Care donating $775 to the Haycap Food Reservoir. That 1-0 lead was short-lived, however. Stephen Merrick issued a 2-out walk to John Whittleman in the second, and then Casey Herron belted his first home run of the season over the 12-foot-high plywood wall in right onto the Lumber Lounge, and that gave Clinton a 2-1 lead. The LumberKings held that lead until the Kernels got a leadoff walk from Brad Kuhn in the 7th inning. Kuhn advanced to third on a perfectly executed bouncer through the left side of the LumberKing infield, a hit-and-run single by Heinle Stacia. Jordan Renz then was hit by a pitch to load the bases. Mark Trumbo delivered home the tying run of the game with a sacrifice fly to right, plating Kuhn and sending Stacia to third. After Tyler Johnson struck out, Larry Infante hit a hot shot, a one-hopper to Matt Smith. The shortstop knocked it down, picked it up, and then threw wildly to the right field side of first base. Freddie Thon desperately lunged out to try to stop the wild throw, but it got by him, and 2 runs scored. Stacia scored from third on the throwing error by Matt Smith, and Jordan Renz scored all the way from first to make it 4-2 Kernels. Meanwhile, Stephen Merrick was absolutely brilliant on the mound. He retired Clinton in order in the first, the third, the fourth, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th inning. Stephen Merrick struck out 9 and 8 2/3. In the 9th inning, the LumberKings mounted a rally. After Merrick struck out Jose Vallejo on 3 pitches, Freddie Thon reached on a fielding error at short by Stacia. In came Truman Mel to pinch run for Thon. John Mayberry struck out for the second out of the inning, the season-high 9th strikeout for the Kernel right-hander. Then Terry Blunt bunted his way on. It was first and third, 2 out. In came Ryan Aldridge. John Whittleman lashed a hard one-hopper that appeared to be headed into center field. Heinle Stacia dove to his left, stopped it, then popped to his feet, threw out John Whittleman to end the Clinton scoring threat. And the Kernels win their 4th in a row, 4-2. Here's the final line score. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error committed by the Kernels. We left 10 men aboard tonight. The LumberKings 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 4. The winning pitcher, Stephen Merrick. Merrick was absolutely magnificent. He's now 6-1. Ryan Aldridge comes on to get the final out of the game. Ryan records his team-high 10th save of the year, and the Clinton loss was hung on Jerry Oaks. And Jerry Oaks on the year now is 0-1. The game only took 2 hours and 16 minutes, and no attendance was announced here at Alliant Energy Field, where the Kernels won their 4th in a row behind Stephen Merrick, the final 4-2. We'll have our PRC play of the game when we return. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money only Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take a Giuseppe Florentini? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared as Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for il Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
The Kernels behind Stephen Merrick, who's now 6-1, turned back the LumberKings 4-2 tonight and have won 4 straight ball games. Thanks to PRC, we can now bring you our PRC play of the game. PRC is a company that cares for your needs and gives you the ability to grow. And to learn more about the fabulous career opportunities at PRC, visit them online, www.prcnet.com. Stephen Merrick had set down 10 straight LumberKings. He took a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning and faced Jose Vallejo, the leadoff batter. Let's pick the action up right there with Merrick facing Jose Vallejo, the leadoff man in the 9th. Here's our PRC play of the game. 4-2 Kernels, the 0-2. Strike 3 called! Stephen Merrick gets Jose Vallejo looking on 3 pitches, and that is now 11 in a row retired by the Kernel starter, Stephen Merrick. 11 straight for Merrick and 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th. And because Stephen Merrick got the leadoff batter, and it was his 11th retired in a row, we chose his strikeout on 3 pitches of Jose Vallejo as the PRC play of the game. Anytime you can get the leadoff man with a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 9th on the road, that's a pretty important sequence or a pretty important play, and that's why it was our PRC play of the game. Life Essentials, that's what PRC terms their benefit package, and they include a competitive or a flexible schedule, a casual dress code at PRC, a 401k retirement savings plan, plus medical, dental, vision, and pet insurance. A job at PRC is a job you'll love. That's our PRC play of the game. Stephen Merrick lifts his record to 6-1. The Kernels win for the 4th time in a row on this 8-game road trip. The road trip record now stands at a sparkling 5-2. We'll be back in just a moment. The final segment of the Kernel Curtain Call is just around the corner. Our complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westdale Mall and listen. If you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and by Whirling Waters. Your chance to splash it up.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Here at Alliant Energy Field this evening, the Kernels reeled their 4th straight win off, and it was a 4-2 victory. A key hit-and-run single by Heinley Stacia in the 7th after Brad Kroon drew a leadoff walk, led to a 3-run Kernel inning, and Stephen Merrick struck out 9 in 8 2/3 and allowed only 4 hits in the Kernel 4-2 win. Thanks to State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Al Shetler, Brad Dunn, and Gary Shubat, we now take a look at all the scores from this afternoon and tonight on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Let's start in the National League. There were 3 games this afternoon. In Philadelphia, the Phillies bowed to the Nationals 3-2. At Busch Stadium in 11 innings, the Cardinals trimmed the Astros 4-3, and a final from Petco Park saw the Padres nip the Rockies 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Diamondbacks and Mets at Shea Stadium are scoreless. Pittsburgh's leading the Brewers 6-1 at PNC Park in the bottom of the 8th inning. And at Dolphin Stadium, it's the Giants 5, the Marlins 1 in the top of the 8th inning. Atlanta's pounding the Dodgers 8-2, top of the 6th inning at Turner Field. And in the top of the 6th inning at Wrigley Field, it's the Cubs trailing the Reds 1-0. In the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard this afternoon at the ballpark in Arlington, AmeriQuest Field, the Mariners in a 14-5 rout over the Rangers. The Athletics shut out the Royals 7-0 at the Coliseum. Kansas City has hired a new general manager. They fired Allard Baird and hired Dayton, now I can't remember his last name, but a fellow with the Atlanta Braves. And Oakland beat the Royals 7-0 today in the Coliseum. In the top of the 8th inning at Jacobs Field, the Indians are ahead of the White Sox 5-0. The Devil Rays and Orioles are tied 5-5 in the top of the 8th inning at Camden Yards. The Red Sox are on top of the Blue Jays in the top of the 6th inning at Rogers Center in Toronto 8-6. And in a game delayed by rain, they're in the top of the 4th inning now playing, and the Yankees lead Detroit 1-0. Later tonight, former Colonel Irvin Santana will be on the hill for our parent club, the Angels, as the Angels take on the Twins. That's our complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Brad Gunn, Dale Thompson, and Gary Shubat. The Kernels have won 4 in a row, and behind a very impressive outing by 22-year-old Stephen Merrick, the Kernels knock off the LumberKings 4-2 tonight here at Alliant Energy Field. Tomorrow evening, a 7 o'clock start. It'll be our third interlude with Sherrard Klingscales, a scout with the Atlanta Braves. We've really enjoyed talking baseball, and Sherrard Klingscales, a former Midwest League pitcher who is a scout with Atlanta, played Big Ten basketball under Gene Cady, talked about seeing Chris Kingsbury, the former Hawkeye sharpshooter, remarking that he was sitting on the bench with current Purdue coach Matt Painter, as a walk-on in the early 90s under Gene Cady, and he and Matt Painter were amused at all the array of shots that Chris Kingsbury would put up as a Hawkeye. We'll talk more baseball on the South Slope Communications Triple Play show tomorrow evening with Atlanta Braves scout Sherrard Klingscales. That will be at 6:40, a 7 o'clock start, and the game tomorrow evening will be heard on 1600, The Zone, KCRG. Tonight, we sure enjoyed bringing you the action here on 1450 KMRY. The final score, the Kernels 4, Clinton 2. This has been Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
And it's 8:32 from 1450 KMRY. Temperature reading here is 76 degrees.